Are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the Black Hawk helicopter crash near Reagan Airport in DC. How did that happen? Oh, we don't know. It was just a We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we're talking about the Trump ABC interview. Pretty hostile a little bit, but not really. It's more of the same. Russia. We got to have due process for criminal gangbangers who should have been deported 15 years ago. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Amazon had plans to post what the difference in tariff prices are from Trump to Biden. Oh, well, because you got Trump, things are going to cost you a lot more. Let's put that on the website. And then when Caroline Leavitt came out and exposed it, they said, oh, nah, we were just playing. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Philadelphia Eagles star running back Saquon Barkley hanging out with Trump has a lot of the black LGBTQ element of P, X, Y, and Z elite offended. We'll talk about that. Plus, we have a development in the story of the Transformer who was firebombing the Tesla dealership. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all for joining me tonight. I appreciate y'all as always. And as always, I got to fix something in the beginning of the stream. Let me go ahead and fix this chat over here. All right. And I think we should be good with that. But shout out to you guys who are watching, listening on the repeat, watching on the repeat. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you are hearing in general, if you enjoyed the content, if you like what you heard tonight so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We have a lot to discuss. There is a whole lot happening. And I am ready. I'm ready for it. A lot of crazy things, a lot of crazy occurrences. We got some breaking news, nothing super major, but some news that I think is important to know. Definitely important to know some of this news. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. All right. And thank y'all for joining me on the Instagram live yesterday, if you guys were there. And if you don't know, I think what I'm going to do from here on out is on Tuesdays, I'm going to go live on Instagram. And of course, Instagram is a smaller audience. It's more personal. It's more of a connection. It's like a real small size of the stream. And it's just a different place. So if you're on Instagram, you're scrolling on your phone on the Tuesday night and you see ABL, pop on in, say what's up and enjoy yourself. So last night I was on a stream with my cousin. Shout out to Nikki if you're watching. That was a good stream. You guys got a little peek into some childhood stories I'll talk about on here. I spoke about my uncle who would dress up like a woman. And then I talked about how she found his fake breasts hilarious. When we were like kids, we saw this kind of stuff. So that was a good stream. If you enjoyed that stream, shout out to you. I appreciate y'all for joining. But yeah, so I'll be doing IG lives on Tuesday. My regular streams on YouTube as always. My regular videos on YouTube. But you guys can follow me on all my platforms while I'm speaking about it. Go to the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. I'm going to get straight to that because I'm talking about it. You can follow all my social media platforms right there. My Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok is all right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact as such. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're speaking to me on the interwebs or not, just cross-reference the method of communication. If it's a weird email, an 18-digit WhatsApp number, it's not me. It's not going to be me. It's someone else. So please check that. Don't get scammed. 2025. Don't nobody got no time for that. But if you go to the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com, that is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. If you go to the front page of the website, you'll be able to find articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I'll have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, libertarian, whatever you want. I got it. Local, national, international, as long as it's legal, it's going to be right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. And of course, we got the merch website, right? We got the merch. We got ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. And of course, I'm going in reverse order than I normally do. But shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or just type in patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. All righty, but we got a whole lot going on. There is so much happening, a lot of different videos and whatnot that I have not spoken about on the regular stream yet. But I appreciate y'all for joining. Retro AI says ABL is the only person I follow on Insta. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Richard Smith, you know I got the coconut water on deck. You got to have the coconut water on deck. Hey, Kirkland, Costco, give me the sponsorships. Go ahead and get it to me. Okay, look. So I'm going to need the Built Basics sponsorship. I need the Kirkland, specifically this brand, the coconut water from Costco. I need a sponsorship for this. And then also the Costco. Yeah, I'm the Costco king. You go to Costco on any given Sunday, you liable to find me in there. All right, I'm easy to find. I look the exact same way I do right now. Tall guy. You'll be able to find me in the Costco's racking up. Okay, that's my favorite spot. Costco and Publix. That's all I do with. Anything else, I can't do nothing with it. If you see me anywhere else, something didn't happen to me. Somebody got me hostage or I lost a bet. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Shaquille Oatmeal says, broke people never get scammed. Thank you, Jesus, for keeping me broke. Well, there we go. There we go. It is all good. It is all good. Hey, man, it's real bad if you broke and get scammed because they're going to take your $5 you got in your bank account and just run off. Now you have $0. It's even worse. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. Plastic. I know, Forte. I know. I'm sorry for not drinking my water out of a glass container or a paper like thing like this here. I apologize. It's my fault. But hey, what am I going to do, man? You only live once. Yeah, y'all fancy. Mineral water, all that kind of stuff. You want water from the Lake Minnetonka. That's what y'all want. Y'all want the purified waters from Lake Minnetonka. Okay, hey, man. Everybody can't be as fancy as y'all. I mean, give me a break. Everybody can't be that fancy. I mean, it's okay to drink a bottle of water out of the plastic. It's all right. You know, I ain't gonna die no time soon. I'll be all right. I do have stainless steel cups, though, Peg. I do have stainless steel cups. I sure do. I got stainless steel cups and I got stainless steel wine glasses. And I got regular glass wine glasses. I got glass glasses, stainless steel. But when it comes to just being hydrated right now for the show, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do that. All right. Hold on. Carrie Cree says, Anthony and the Costco reaching all the tall shelf items for the Sunday ladies. I sure do. I sure do. If I see, especially like, you know, little old lady trying to reach real tall. She's like 4'11". Don't worry about it. I got you. Thank you, young man. You're so... Yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. All righty. But we got a whole lot going on. Hold on. Tim the Beard says, I drink 8 water bottles a day. I wouldn't trip ABL. There you go. There you go. It's all good, man. You know what? One thing I would say is it's better to drink out of a plastic water bottle than it is to be eating some of these big bag snacks that I see people eat. Okay. Oh man, some of y'all snacks, some of y'all food choices is crazy. I'm like, man, how are you going to eat that? Like I see some things people cook on the interwebs. They go to these restaurants and they got all this stuff everywhere. I'm like, man, that looks like my stomach going to hurt. If I eat that, I'm going to be on the toilet crying tears, boo-hooing. I'll be like that with someone what y'all eat. So yeah, I think the plastic is all right. But look, we got a whole lot going on. Do you guys remember the them that was bombing Teslas, or he got locked up for the whole Tesla situation? Hold on. Matter of fact, let's see. Tesla dealership attacker, Kansas City. Yeah, it was this guy. Hold on. I'm gonna show you this guy's picture. And when I show you this guy, yes, guy, male, man, sir. Okay. Once I show you this guy's picture, you'll remember. If you don't know what I'm talking about right now, we have an update on this guy. Okay, there's some criminal action against him, but then again, not really. Okay, and once you see the update, you're going to see the picture and the update, and it's going to make sense why he looks like this. Okay, remember this guy? So this guy was caught or arrested for firebombing a Tesla dealership in Kansas City. Okay, so you know the type that are going to be out here messing with Tesla dealerships. They're going to be these individuals, right? Okay, this guy's like, what, 18, 19, young man, but he's a man. He's a XY male, a dude, a boy, a he, him, a biological he, him. I don't know what his pronouns are right now, but that's a man, all right? Now, here's the update. Here is, hold on, let me just get everything together and get my sound on. All right, let's watch.
And John, the government wanted Owen McIntyre to spend the time before trial behind bars, but the judge in Boston sided with the defense in this case, which cited multiple medical issues facing the 19-year-old, including autism spectrum disorder, gender dysphoria, and ADHD. McIntyre's attorney argued the teen should be released citing serious and ongoing medical needs and treatments that could not or would not be provided while in federal detention. The defense filing says McIntyre is being treated for depression and since March has been receiving gender-affirming care. That care would likely be interrupted or terminated in federal custody.
So because you're too soft to go to the penitentiary, we'll let you out for now. Because that's what I heard. Hey, did y'all hear something different? What I heard was this boy, this man, 19 years old, is too soft, so we're not going to lock him up. It's like, okay, look, all that, I don't want to, I hate when people use a disability or some kind of, okay, oh, I got autism and my tummy hurt. It's like, all right, well, where was all that at when you were firebombing a Tesla dealership? You weren't too autistic to be able to do that. You know how to work a Molotov cocktail. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. You chose to do wrong. So why should I give you any kind of sympathy? And here's a judge right here. Okay. You looking like Marsha Brady or the mama. You looking like Alice from the Brady Bunch. But that's her, Jessica Hodges. That's the judge. Okay. Ma'am, please do right. This guy's firebombing Tesla dealerships. You know what I think? I think thinks that she is just sympathetic to his cause. She likes what he did. Now, if he was to burn down a Starbucks, then he would be hung high at 12 noon that the next day they string him up. Autism or no autism, transformer or no transformer, ADHD or no ADHD. He'd be swinging both feet in the air, dangling at 12 noon the next day if he burned a Starbucks down. But because it was a Tesla dealership, then it's all good. It's fine, right? Okay, we see what's up. We know what's going on. Shout out to the activist judges doing what they do per usual. Per usual. You already know what it is. All right. So, yeah, shout out to Alice. You already know. Now, look. Have you guys heard about this meme going around talking about 100 men versus a gorilla? Now, look. I'm not going to talk about that for real. Like, this ain't really no real topic. I'm just saying. Okay. But it's a thing that I've seen quite a bit. And people having, like, real conversations. It's like, look, man. A gorilla, an actual gorilla it'd be gruesome. Okay. It'd be gruesome if 100 men tried to fight a gorilla. Like it wouldn't even really be close. It'd be awful. Okay. So this is a thing. It's a real article on Rolling Stone. Could 100 men beat a gorilla in a fight? So now we're talking to pathologists, all kind of stuff. Listen, what's going to happen? No Rolling Stone, no notifications, thank you. But what's going to happen is if 100 men tried to fight a gorilla, the first man or two would get split in half like a zipper being unzipped. I'm talking about vital organs, all that kind of stuff all over the place. Bones. It'd be gruesome. It'd be very gruesome. Okay. So what's going to happen is all the other guys are going to back off. It's just like I saw a video of some little kids, little black kids, and the grandma was in there with the belt. Now, the kids were acting up during the prayer. You know you can't do that. You know, they praying before Thanksgiving dinner, and then you snickling and laughing and saying off-color stuff. You about to get a beating. The grandma beats one of the kids just real quick, 2 or 3 little taps with the belt. Everybody shut up. She didn't beat everybody. She just beat the one kid. That was enough. It'd be the same thing with the gorilla. Hey, once you see a person in front of you get opened, it's going to be over. But look, you know what? Hold on. I have a better competition. Better competition is right here. So check it out. Hold on. How about 100 Americans versus an escalator in the reverse direction? How about that? Rather than getting torn alive by a gorilla in a cage or in the forest or whatever, let's have 100 American men versus a reverse escalator. Can we watch this video right quick? You guys may have seen this. Now, the caption, it says, fans risking their life to run uphill to escape WrestleMania. All right. So again, the escalator is going down, but they're trying to come up. Let's watch. RP to the headphone users. All right. Let me start from the beginning.
Oh, he gave up. I believe that.
So my man at the bottom of the escalator is like, man, it wasn't going to work. You're trying to throw your stuff up there. It's like, bro, throwing your bag on top of the thing ain't gonna make a difference. It's not like that's weighing you down. Your cardiovascular endurance is weighing you down. The bags and goodies and whatnot in your hand ain't doing it. The other guys got a little bit of pep in their step. They got up the escalator. My man right here was struggling real bad. So that's what I want to see. I want to see 100 American men versus an escalator going in the opposite direction rather than them getting torn apart by a gorilla. And if we can't do that, how are we going to fight a gorilla? Yo, a gorilla, I don't know how much they weigh. A ton? I don't know, but they're extremely heavy, extremely agile, powerful. The muscles, everything is just too much for you. Trying to fight a gorilla is like trying to fight a wrecking ball as it's actually moving. What are you going to do? A wrecking ball can knock down an entire building. Can you? So how are you going to stop it? Anyway, so yeah. Shout out to the guys trying to fight the escalator and the escalator, the escalator won. I did not watch WrestleMania, but I saw some of the clips. The girls, love the girls matches. Bianca Belair, oh my gosh. Hey, Bianca Belair, I love. Hey, shout out to Bianca Belair. She's the best. She pretty, muscle mommy, and she's good. She's a good wrestler. I like Jade Cargill too, but she's not really a good wrestler. Bianca Belair is a good wrestler. Yeah, and I respect the art from her wrestling. I really do. Big wrestling fan from back in the day, the Raw Nitro days, the 80s, Hogan days. Love it. But I saw some of her clips. I'm like, yeah, she's a very good wrestler. The women's matches were fantastic, not just because they looked good, but because they were actually good. They were wrestling well. They're able to speak and they're able to hype the crowd. They did a good job. So yeah, shout out to Bianca Belair. All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, speaking about American men without a whole lot of testosterone. So I don't know what they got Cory Booker doing. Maybe they're still trying to make him be Barack Obama. Maybe. But listen, Democratic Party, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Cory Booker is not Obama. And before we get into it, hold on, kind of going back to the whole thing about the gorilla. A gorilla, hold on, Rebel Out of Reason says the bite force of a gorilla is 1,300 pounds per square inch. Iron Shell says 800 pounds of pure muscle. Imagine a human being being 800 pounds. I don't think it's possible for a human to weigh 800 pounds and be total muscle. Even some of you guys is on gear, some of your old school bodybuilders, your Ronnie Colemans, these guys were not weighing 800 pounds. They might get close to 300, something like that, but 800? Nah. No. Hold on. Apex says, you realize gorillas have low stamina, right? After about 30 dudes, a gorilla is finished. Well, how much stamina do you have? How much stamina does an average human being have? I'm gonna come back. Hold on. I'm gonna come back to Corey. Let me stay on the gorilla topic for just a minute. How much stamina do you have as a human being? I see people who can't even get, we just saw it right there. My man got defeated by an escalator. Okay. After 2 minutes of trying, he just could not do it. The average person does not have that much stamina. Try sprinting for like 10 minutes straight. Try that. You might not be able to do it. If you don't pop a muscle, tear your MCL, BBL, CDL, all of that good stuff, you're going to be having asthma. You're going to be running out of breath. Your heart going to be beating crazy. I see people younger than me who are not even fat, struggling to get upstairs, out of breath. I was like, are you okay? You want some oxygen? Listen, in my house, I got stairs right here. Like, this is my bonus room right here in my house. Whenever I go up the stairs, I always run. I never walk up the stairs. I always run up the stairs or jog. At least a jog, a light, or like up the stairs. Some of y'all be like, and be younger than me. If you're older than me, I get it because you're older than me. But if you're like 25 years old, walking up the stairs gingerly, and you're like 175 pounds, I don't know what's going on. So yeah, do you have enough stamina to even walk up some stairs, walk up an escalator, to jog for 2 minutes without being dead tired? I think the gorilla has a teensy bit more stamina than that. But anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. No way. Let me just stop because that's not really a real thing. And if I see one of y'all doing that, hey man, I'm gonna call your grandmama for you and say, hey, your grandbaby about to get ate up by this gorilla. So don't turn on the TV. Don't watch social media because it's gonna be real ugly. Hey man, please, I beg, do not fight the gorilla. Do not fight. Yeah, it's not a video game. That's right, Thor at the door. It's not a video game. It's dead serious. Once that gorilla put them paws on you, it's gonna be a wrap. Man, y'all be getting mauled by dogs, by little dogs. Pit bulls will maul you to death. What's a gorilla gonna do? Do you think a pit bull can maul a gorilla? Be for real. Be serious. Hobbalone says gorillas don't have killer instinct like humans do. Okay, I'm finished. I'm finished with that particular topic because now y'all just trolling. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. And if I see one of y'all fighting a gorilla, hey man, bon voyage, auf Wiedersehen, sayonara sucker, because you about to be dead immediately. Anyway, speaking about guys that don't have any stamina, no testosterone, no nothing. We do, but these guys don't. You got Cory Booker. They're trying to make him be Barack Obama. They're trying to make him be a thing. They're trying to make him become popular in politics, but it's just not going to work. Barack Obama had a level of grooming when he went to Jeremiah Wright's church in Chicago. He learned how to be an African American after growing up in Indonesia and Hawaii as a white guy, basically. Now he wants to come to America. Okay, now I'm an African American. He was groomed into how to do that. And he was able to use that charm and finesse from the black side to win over all Americans, black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. They're trying to make Cory Booker be the same way, but Cory Booker's too goofy, unmarried, no kids, probably LGBT. They tried to put him with Rosario Dawson. That didn't work. So now what we're doing is little demonstrations. He had the record-breaking filibuster that was not a filibuster. He talked for a long time without doing number one, number two. I don't know if he had diapers or what, but now he's doing it again on the steps of the Capitol. Now, this video right here, he was sitting there for 10 hours. and you have Raphael Warnock from Georgia and a few other ne'er-do-wells. Let's watch.
Got some power here. Now, we said we were anchoring ourselves in the moral traditions when we came out here over 10 hours ago. Hakeem and I said this is a bigger moment than politics. This is a moral moment in America, and we were going to sit here for a long time. I didn't know we'd be sitting for 10 hours, but it's 10 hours and we're still going, and we got some great people here. But the moral traditions we got some power.
Who cares, though, Corey? Like, you know what? If not for the interwebs, I would not have known about this because it doesn't matter. You didn't do anything. Now, if you were to sit there for 10 hours and you got something accomplished, you got a bill passed, you got a law passed, you did something. If you were able to do your job in a great way with this whole process, then it would make sense. But all you did was just sit there and talk. So who cares? Hakeem Jeffries right there, right next to him. Okay, with his little Jesus piece and his little white DCs or whatever. Okay, Hakeem Jeffries, whatever. So weird, so cringe. These people in DC do not understand this. They don't understand this at all. Oh, and you know what? I got to talk about Tampon Tim. Hold on. We got to talk about Tampon Tim because check it out. Remember, they were trying to make him be a thing. They were trying to make it be like, oh, well, this guy, he knows what it's like to be an American dad. He knows what it's. They were trying to make this guy be a thing, but we knew that he wasn't. Now, matter of fact, hold on. I got to find that ad that he had. The football ad, remember that? Okay. I got to find that because that was hilarious. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it right quick. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But that was totally crazy. Hold on. I'm going to find it later. But what we got to do right here is find this. Now, Tampon Tim admitted that the reason why they got him on board is because he could code talk to white guys about playing football and working on the truck and things like this. As a matter of fact, hold on. Yeah, he wanted to code talk to white guys. Now, to the white guys in the audience, do you believe that Tampon Tim is a pillar of masculinity? Would you want to talk to him about how to hunt and fish, work on your truck, and do anything manly at all? Let's watch.
I'm a team player. I'm with it. And there's folks that I recognize are smarter than me. They analyze this. You put your input in. Running a campaign that had never been run before, 100 days, in the situation we were at, running against a very unusual opponent on the other side. Mm-hmm. And look, my job was to do it. Look, I knew I was on the ticket. I would argue because we did a lot of amazing progressive things in Minnesota that improved people's lives. But I also was on the ticket, quite honestly, because I could code talk to white guys watching football, fixing their truck, doing that I could put them at ease. I was the permission structure to say, look, you can do this and vote for this. And you look across those swing states, with the exception of Minnesota, we didn't get enough of those votes.
But you could be giving them permission on TV every day. You could have been messaging that way, and that isn't necessarily how it shook out.
Well, yes, but I also said I understand myself. I said I think I'll give you pretty good stuff, but I'll also give you 10% problematic. And so somebody's got to make the decision here to handle some of this stuff and to make it. And those are just decisions that were made. And I think after the fact, it is not second guessing or anything. I think it's fair to go back on and look at this. Look, we had the most qualified person who'd run for president in this country's history at the
who's qualified? Kamala qualified how?
Top of the ticket. That in itself should have got this thing won. We had, in my opinion, and you can disagree with me, I think history will prove me right, a very unqualified person on the other side. And you have to determine, how do you get those hits? What was the best way? Did it make sense to continue to, call him weird or call that out, or make this pitch that we are significantly different and our policies can improve your lives? And there's people that make those decisions, and whether it's right or wrong or not, I guess history will make that.
All right, so there's Tampon Tim saying, hey, you know what? The reason I was chosen is because I could code talk to the white guys about how to fix their truck, about how to, do man stuff. Now, okay, I found the video. I found the unreleased Tampon Tim ad from back in October of 2024. All righty, are we prepared for some cringe? Okay, if you guys haven't seen it in a while, we're going to just go revisit it. If you've not seen it for the first time, enjoy.
I love sinking into the couch, cold beer in my mouth, rooting for the twins and Tim. And I love sharing all my tools, playing by the rules, keeping those edges trim. And Tim, I love leaving my white notes, making a plan to vote, helping counter the win. And Tim, we love you, Tim. Woo! Go get him, coach.
Go get him, coach was crazy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Hey, how did that not win the election? Hey, you know what? That right there, look, man, get him an Oscar, a 2B, whatever he can get, man, a hoodie award, give him all the awards for that A+ performance, great ad, great editing, great music. And Tim, how did that not win? Come on, white guys, are you not inspired by that? Oh my gosh, wow. Hey, man. See, and that's the whole thing. That was part of it. That's why the ad was out, or they were going to put it out, because that was their whole thought process. Like, okay, Tampon Tim, he's going to be great for the white guys. They could relate to him. They could watch college football on Saturday, NFL Sunday. That was their thought process, but clearly, they were wrong. All right, now this is interesting. I've been seeing this floating around. We got Big Mike and her podcast making waves. People said that the podcast was kind of off to a rocky start, and that's to be expected, a brand new thing. But I figured when she brought on new people, not new people, but when she brought on celebrities and stuff like that, it'll start popping. Okay, so here she is with Marlon Wayans. Now, Marlon Wayans, if you don't know, part of the illustrious Wayans family in Living Color. And I could go on talking about Keenan and all the shows and spinoffs and movies and everything, stand-up careers. Jim Carrey came from the Kid and Ivory Wayans tree, started on Living Color. That's a whole big dynasty of a comedy family. Now, Marlon Wayans' offspring is now transgender. And the reason why I say offspring is because I don't know if he had a boy that became a girl or vice versa, but he has a transformer kid. Now, here is Big Mike congratulating Marlon for having a transformer kid. Let's watch.
Wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. Would you care to share that journey of?
Well, I learned.
I wanted to talk.
Now, they kind of cutting this up on Twitter to make it seem like she's trying to say that she's a man. But obviously she's saying that as a Black man, you are accepting of it. And what I took from that, I did not take her admitting she's a man. What I took from that was offense. Like, oh, you Black men are homophobic. You guys hate gays. That's what I caught from that. That was an attack on Black men. You know what? Here's my theory. Here's a hot take. I don't think she likes men, period. And definitely not Black men. She hates her husband, clearly. If she hates her husband, then why would she like most Black men? To a woman like this, unless you're LGBT and open and accepting, then you're just pretty much nothing as a Black man. Okay? So yeah, shout out to Big Mike. Congratulating a Black man because he's gay or he's gay accepting. That's what's going on with that. So, and stuff like this is why the Democratic Party are losing people, because just right there, you insult people because of their race and their gender or whatever it is. Then you say the other side is doing that. You're going to insult Black men calling us homophobic, transphobic, or whatever, and then say, all right, black man, why don't you go out there and vote? Her husband did that. Remember Barack Obama during the campaign looking mad at people, talking about, well, you guys aren't voting the right way. It's like, man, if you don't go back to Martha's Vineyard with your boy toy that died, allegedly, and get out of my face. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to Big Mike and her podcast. Now look, shout out to the cops or anyone who wants to become a cop. Shout out to you guys. But we got to kind of go back to the whole thing about being physically fit, okay? Be physically fit. Okay, if this is a new recruit class at the police academy, we got problems in this country. If this is the new recruit class, we're going to have problems. Let's watch.
Do a wheelie. No way. No fucking way.
We got a problem, man. Look at this. Are these cops? Are these cops trying to go uphill? And the hill is not that steep. It's not that steep. If you just fall on the ground, and I'm not seeing any kind of muscle definition, I'm seeing just a big tub just boom, 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 right on the ground. We got a problem. We have a problem. Okay, suspect take off on foot. He hauling hind parts down the road. You're not going to do nothing. You can't get on the bike. You got to get in your car and just chase them that way. You can't do no foot pursuit if that's what's going on. Humpty Dumpty. Okay, that's what's going on. We cannot have that if these guys are cops. If you're just regular people, whatever, that's fine. But a police officer, I need you to be a teeny bit more physically fit. Just a little bit more. Hey, that's right, Forte. Forte said he would smoke that hill. I'm with it. Okay. AB says it's so fun to ridicule. Who hired them? That's what I'm saying. We got a problem. That's probably the best it could get. You have a problem. It's difficult. Guys like that should not be out there on the street, but that's what's available. And I think some of that, you're going to have a hard time recruiting cops when you don't have an environment that is friendly to cops. Where I live at is cool. We got some good officers. I see these guys in the stores and whatnot whenever I'm out, and they all look to be pretty in shape. So I don't see a bunch of big bad cops around here. Even the older guys are in shape. Shout out to my friend Austin Garrett, the sheriff out here, in shape, very much in shape. And he's like probably in his late 50s, always in shape. But some of these young guys, 25 years old, 300 pounds, we got a problem. Now, speaking about young guys doing right rather than doing wrong, we got a young conservative guy speaking his mind. Let's watch this. I've not seen this yet, but it looked pretty interesting. I don't know how old this young man is, but let's see what he has to say.
They are terrified of young conservatives, but it's for a good reason. You guys do realize that they've been spending decades controlling our media, our schools, and our culture. But honestly, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. We're the new generation that's waking up and rejecting their lies. We know freedom matters more over feelings. We know that the truth isn't subjective. If I'm being honest, they can probably cancel us, threaten us, or even censor us. But they cannot stop a whole generation from fighting for what's right. I'm Fabrizio, and this is Fabrizio's Take, where we stand for truths, not trends. Over here, there's no spins, no fears. Honesty, bro, just the truth.
Right on. So shout out to Fabrizio. Shout out to him. Boy, probably like he about 14 years old, man. I don't know. He looks real young, but I like the young guys coming up and understanding that, hey, we're not just going to be silenced and censored. We're not going to fall back. We're not going to be soft. We're going to stand up for ourselves and do the right thing. So I like that a lot. It gives me hope for the future. I see a lot of these videos where you got guys that don't know anything. What's the capital of the United States? I don't know. I have no idea. Guys like that, I think, are the opposite. And we're going to need them for the future because people are in position right now that are smart, that understand things, but they're not going to live forever. So the young generation got to come behind us and they got to take the torch. They got to carry the torch. If we don't pass them the torch properly and we give them a bad society, they're going to have problems. So shout out to the youngins that understand really what's going on out here in these streets. Now, speaking about not knowing what the capital of the country is, hold on. This is like an Instagram model. And the question will be asked, hey, what is the capital of the USA?
What is the capital of the United States of America?
The capital? Springfield.
Wait. What?
Okay, now look, so check it out. Now, she's from Illinois. I think Chicago or somewhere near Chicago. Okay, so all she heard was capital. So she's right if the question was, what is the capital of Illinois? But the capital of the USA, that's Washington, D.C. But again, people like that, that's not even that normal. Most people wouldn't even get the capital of their own state. If you ask the average person, hey, what's your state capital? I don't know. I have no idea. Nobody's walking around, don't know anything. So at least she knew a capital. I give her a point for credit. It's not fake, AB. No. It's not fake. It is not, I promise. Like I said, most people don't know the capital of their own state, let alone the capital of the nation. Okay, now look, speaking about things not being fake, we got a young lady right here saying, hey, you know what? Trump supporters, no margaritas, none of that stuff on Cinco de Mayo. All right, let's check this out.
This message is for Trump supporters. I better not see one of y'all motherfuckers posting up on Facebook or Instagram drinking margaritas on Cinco de Mayo. That's not for you. This message.
Why not though? Why not? I mean, people are so racist. It's like, just because I want legal aliens, legal immigration, does not mean I hate Mexicans. What's that got to do with it? So you think everybody that comes here illegally is Mexican? So don't nobody Chinese come over here? So, okay, so why you didn't say I can't go to a Chinese food spot? I can't get no dim sum, no egg fruit rice. It come with egg roll. Okay, 10 minute. It come with egg roll. I can't get that on Cinco de Mayo or whatever, any kind of day. Because they are the number 2 biggest illegal alien group behind Central Americans, Mexicans specifically. It's the Chinese, and they're coming into the country in huge numbers. So yeah, if I wanted to get shrimp fried rice, if I wanted to get the ramen noodles or whatever, I'm gonna get that. So what? And I'm gonna be against illegal immigration. If you come here legally, that's fine. And speaking about coming here legally, watch this. So we have a man who says, you know what? I did things right. I came to the country legally.
So you just became a U.S. citizen 2 weeks ago, sir?
Yes.
What made you want to become a U.S. citizen?
I worked for U.S. military before.
Oh, you're in the U.S. military? What'd you do?
I was interpreter, translator.
Translator from what language?
Persian to English, Pashto to English.
What years was that?
From 2014 to 2018.
Well, welcome to America. I'm glad you're a U.S. citizen. Congratulations. That's a big deal. So you had to take the test?
Yeah, I'm so happy. Yes, of course I did the test, and of course I'm happy to be part of this nation.
See, I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to pass that test. I'd be nervous to take the test.
It's very hard for most of American as well, because there's a lot of questions. You should answer at least for like 10 of them on the beginning. But I was so excited when I went there. So everything was very well. And I just...
So you just became...
There we go. Shout out to my man. Probably Iranian or something like this, or in that particular part of the world, Iranian, Afghan, something like this, and did right. Okay, work for the military, 4 years, you take the test, you become a citizen. Guys like that have my respect. I say welcome. You followed the laws. You did what we asked you to do to come here legally. So that is the kind of guy that I want in my neighborhood. That's the kind of guy that I want in my country. That's the kind of guy who should be a model for everybody else. And guys like this, I feel like if this is you did all of that to come here legally, you're going to be upset at someone for just hopping the border and becoming a citizen, getting amnesty, not being deported or whatever it is. The left should champion guys like this rather than MS-13 gang members like Kamal Arbecker Garcia. Why would you want to support a gang member with gang tattoos on his hands over a legal immigrant who served the military for 4 years? I mean, come on. What are we talking about? Yeah, definitely a Trump supporter, 100%. all day long. And there's guys like that from all the countries in the world. You got Mexicans like that. You got Chinese like that. You got a lot of guys all over the world who are just like that. Those are the ones that I want, not those that just hop in the border illegally, all this, that, and the third. Now, let's go to Charlie Kirk, because he's been on the tear on some of these campuses. Charlie, I like Charlie. I met him many times. A really, really smart young man. But Charlie, I'm not trying to proposition myself, but you need a guy like me sometimes to handle some of these conversations, because you mean well and you have a good idea that needs to get you have good ideas need to get expressed to people, but sometimes the way you do it, it's not really helpful to the person that's receiving it, although the general public watching it may like it. If that makes any sense. Now, here's what I got to show right here. This is an example of cultural disconnect. That's all that it is, because Charlie is talking and what he's saying makes sense, but it's not necessarily addressing what the young man is saying. And the young man is not able to express himself in the appropriate way to make Charlie understand where he's coming from. So what you have are people that are just kind of missing each other, but they're both trying to communicate in good faith. Let's watch.
Black Americans are the richest black people on earth?
What statistic
Africa.
is that? Okay, I need you to pull that up like right now.
You can. Black Americans per capita on average.
Can you pull that up?
I'm hosting an event right now. I don't know what to tell you, but
I'm participating.
Anyone can fact check me on this. So,
but what he's saying is right. Black Americans are the richest group in the world, and every black group wants to be us. Every black group wants to be us. The Nigerians, the UK people, the Caribbeans, everybody wants to be us. And if you're in the comments and you're getting mad, you could get mad, but you know I'm telling the truth. Maybe you don't want to be Black American, but everybody else does. Okay, you got these guys like Burna Boy dressing like 50 Cent in 2007. Don't even do that to me. But let's keep on moving.
you cannot find a black majority country or any country where black people have significant representation where they are as wealthy, because even the poorest people in America are in the top 5%, the top 2% of wealth around the world. And so my whole belief is stop acting like you're a victim and start making better choices.
Not acting like a victim, whoa. This is not a victim mentality.
No, it fundamentally is, because white people are not out to get you. There's nothing. There is nothing holding black people back. Let me say that again. There is nothing holding black people back. In fact, the opposite. You can get into colleges with lower test scores, but you could say things that white people can't say and not.
Now we're getting into things that don't matter. Like the whole thing about the test scores, that's not helpful though. And then the whole thing about you could say things and white folks can't say, like, these things aren't helpful at all. Like he's correct when he says that, but it's not helpful. So when you tell that to this young guy, that's not going to help him. Although to us, it makes sense because he's saying the truth, but it's not helpful to the young guy because that don't really matter.
Not be fired for it. Black people are wildly disrepresentation.
People say that to me all the time, and they just walk around like it doesn't mean anything around here.
Say what? Say the what?
The N-word. I'm not going to say it on this public platform, but people say it to me all the time.
It derogatorily.
Yes.
No, I think you're lying.
Why would I be lying
So
about
you're
this?
trying to tell me at this campus, did you report it to student services?
I'm not. I have too much on my plate to worry about this.
So you're going to say at this campus, you're going to indict the moral character of.
Now, we getting a little bit too dramatic, Charlie, because the whole thing about the N-word, it is commonly used, but it's not really a big deal. That's why he didn't report it. It's not like, okay, somebody says N-word this, N-word that it's a hate crime. It ain't that deep. Yeah, I'm not about to get locked up or something over the N-word.
Texas A&M.
I'm not indicting the moral character.
Oh, yes, you are. You're saying that.
I'm indicting the moral character of one person or a few people.
Oh, well, now it's one. So you heard it all the time, and now it's one. Got it. So
it's not.
Nah. What he's saying is, when I'm talking about the N-word being said, I'm not speaking about everyone. I'm talking about that person who said it. That does not mean that it's only one person who said it. You see what I'm saying? I'm sure he hears the word all the time. It's to the point now, especially among like Gen Z. White guys, black guys, Asian, they all say it. It's just like regular at this point among the young generation. But it's not really a big deal, so you're not going to go tell.
okay. You're
No, but
taking me
this
out
is
of
the point,
context,
is that
but
I
okay.
don't believe you because now you resort back to a race hoax to make it seem as if the white
not
kids
a-
on this campus are like
not
racist
saying
and terrible.
white kids.
Oh, so was it a black guy that said it to you?
I'm not.
Of course, it'll be black guys saying mostly, yes. And then there'll be other groups of people that say it as well. But it wouldn't just be black guys. But that's what I'm saying. Among them, they say that all the time and it's not a big deal. To me, it's bewildering. Like, I'm hearing white guys, they be hanging with black guys and Asian guys, and they all say it together. And it's like nothing. When I was young, we didn't do that. When Charlie was young, that probably didn't happen at all. But when this guy, 18, 19, they do that.
It matters a lot because this is how lies are able to grow. Jussie Smollett, we see this. You have to challenge them head on.
Do you think I'm lying when I say that people say the N-word around here? And just
If I think a white person comes up to you derogatorily and says, shut up, N-word,
Nah, that ain't happening. All right, nah, see, Charlie, you getting a little bit dramatic. It ain't gonna be like, Jussie Smollett, the Nigerian hate, like, noose on the neck. It ain't like that. It's just said normally, and it's not really a big deal. That's kind of what he's talking about. So when you say you can say things and get away with it and you won't get in trouble, well, others can as well, not just black people. That's all. But that right there, that's a cultural disconnect and an age difference. Yeah, like if you're talking to somebody, if you're my age, talking to like high school kids, college kids, they're different. It ain't the same. And I think that what you need with Charlie is a young guy or some young guys that can also talk to the young guys. When Charlie first started doing these college tours, he was young like them. But now he's getting older and there's a little bit of a disconnect. That's all. And I recognize, I know that by myself as well. So I know when I talk to a young person, I got to talk to them a certain kind of way. More of a fatherly thing rather than a peer. Does that make sense? All right, but yeah, shout out to Charlie, though. I like Charlie. Charlie's a great dude, real smart. Love Charlie. Great person, but ain't nobody perfect. Now, let's go back to Charlie. We got a couple more of these. Now, this one, he asked a question. You can see it on the screen. Can a woman have a prostate?
Can a woman have a prostate?
Yes.
Tell me how.
Transgender women.
Okay, so
transgender women.
Got
So
it.
people who identify as a woman within society, they present with their gender expression as feminine.
So you have to just give me a working definition of then what a woman is. What is a woman?
It is anyone who identifies as that way.
But that
and it's okay. You guys don't feel that way. It's okay.
Time out though. But that doesn't actually describe a woman. That's just saying that anyone can be a woman.
But do you need the definition of a woman to know what one is?
100%.
Because
Of course you do.
I don't.
I mean, but of course you. But first of all, yes. But isn't it just like a little bit silly? You can't answer this fundamental biological question of what a woman is.
But again, you're asking me about sex. You're asking me about what
No.
a female sex is. And I can tell you what the female sex is. But
Okay.
as for a woman, which is a
But
gendered term created
again,
from the terminology of the
No,
creation of
again,
gender.
we because we live.
That right there comes straight from education, K through 12 in college. ABL, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? No Department of Education. With no Department of Education, maybe you can educate some of these kids. Because she thinks that it's just a term that's just made up and it has no real biological meaning. It does. It really does have actual biological meaning. Women are women, men are men. Ain't no mixing and mingling. And I feel, nah, it is one way. XX or XY? ABL, what about intersex? Stop.
Live in reality, reject the term gender.
Okay.
Right? And again, you didn't even know where it was from. I'm not criticizing you because, you're in anthropology studying and I'm not. That's fine. But getting back to its like core roots, I just want to make sure that we are clear that anybody can become a woman.
Yes.
Right? Okay. When is womanhood achieved?
That's not about an achievement. It's not like it's a race. You don't race to achieve womanhood or manhood.
They don't know how to read either. That's something else I know. A lot of these young people, they don't read, so they don't understand words. So when you're talking to them, I don't know, they get easily brainwashed by their teachers because they don't really do a lot of their own thinking. When you develop a love for reading, you develop a love for thinking critically and independently. If you really can't read like that, You're relying upon whatever someone tells you. Okay? That's what's happening.
So at any point, at any time, someone can become a woman.
Yes, and they can achieve womanhood and experience it. They can experience what it's like to be a woman and being a woman.
Hey, to the women out there in the chat, do you think it's possible for a man to experience what it's like to be a woman? Like for real, the whole experience. I'm talking about you're cramping that time of the month. If you're going through the change, you're having hot flashes, like being pregnant. Like, is that possible for a man to really experience that? Birthing a child? How can a man experience that? How is it possible for a man to experience that?
But so basically, to be a woman is just a mindset.
Yeah.
Wow, there we go. So yeah, that's what your kids are being taught in K through 12. Okay, so everybody says absolutely not. No, never. Won't happen ever. Not at all. Monique Price, shout out to you. No. Laughing emojis. Exactly. They don't know. A man will never experience what it's like to be a woman. It's just not possible. And we got to get back to reality at a certain point. So yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to the youngin'. I got one more for Charlie, then I'll move on. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, okay, here we go. You can see the outfit. So you already know we about to get a real hot take from this. All righty, let's watch.
Abortion is anything. If I had a cyst on my uterus, that would be considered an abortion. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look at, okay, anything that is evolving the uterus.
Well, no, in order for it to be an abortion, it must be a human life.
No. Anything that
Yes.
is evolving the uterus and you have to get rid of it, it is considered abortion.
No.
Abortion has been a big thing
Oh,
for
yeah.
a long time, and it affects people,
So-
and it hurts people.
So as murder and slavery and child sacrifice. There's
That
been
is completely different. Abortion is anything. If I
Okie dokie. So there we go. First of all, it's like she's 5 years old. The way she's talking, like she's 5 years old. But clearly you're in college. You got to be at least 18 or so. I would assume. You sound 5 years old, number one. No, it's not. It's like, but we have to get to reality. A cyst on your uterus is equivalent to an abortion? That makes no sense. Do they call cyst removal abortions, or do they call it cyst removals? An abortion refers to a baby, a human life. Okay, you're aborting a pregnancy. See, again, they don't understand how to read, so they don't understand how to think. That's part of the problem right there. We're talking about indoctrination. It's easy to indoctrinate these children, really, when they cannot think for themselves. They have no critical thinking skills, nothing about problem solving. They're still like children mentally. They have stunted growth, development, failure to launch, all that kind of stuff going on. And at a certain point, I blame the parents for neglecting their children. They may have money and stuff like this, but you have an 18-year-old who is like a 5-year-old mentally. So yeah, please, please, please look after your children, raise them right, let them be, give them some kind of independence, make them read, make them think, make them problem solve. I don't want them to be 40 years old like they're still 5 years old mentally. Okay, so yeah, shout out to her. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty. Meghan Markle. Okay, doing podcasts and stuff like this. Now listen, I don't know about y'all, but if I am a prince, if I'm a prince, I'm part of royal. If I'm part of royalty over in the UK, I'm not going to trade that to come to the USA and do podcasts. I'm sorry. It doesn't make much sense. Now, let's watch this. This is from Meghan Markle on the Jamie Kern Lima podcast, whatever that is.
If I don't have meetings in the morning, then I try to do school drop off. So they're at two different schools.
Meetings? Where are we going? What are you meeting about? Look, that's what I'm saying. Okay. what you should have done is just stayed over there. Why would you want to drag your husband to the USA to do podcasts and be hustling? For what? Why?
So that's our big circuit. So from 6:30 in the morning on drop-off mornings for me, I'm not home till 9. If I don't...
Okay, so they're talking about the morning drop-offs from 6:30 a.m. to 9. That seems kind of inefficient. You could probably do that a little bit better. You could do it a little bit better, but hey, man. You got to have something to complain about on these podcasts when you're doing nothing else. Where the kids at in the meantime? Where the kids at? Nah, you on the podcast. You doing your thing. You trying to get voice acting jobs from Bob Iger. Anyway. Joy Reid. I've not watched this, but Joy Reid says the Roman Empire died because it had too many white people. Okay, let's see what she says. Now, I want to know who she's speaking about specifically.
Each community on earth. If you take that away.
Oh, let me start from the top because you might be able to see these captions. There we go.
Each community on earth. If you take that away and try to distill us just down to white folks, we'll be like Europe, an aging, slowly dying former empire. The Roman Empire didn't survive because it didn't have enough strength in its diversity. It suppressed its diversity and it died. If the U.S. wants to be the Roman Empire, keep voting the way you're voting, y'all.
All right. So what do you think about that? Do you think that the Roman Empire died because it was not enough diversity? Too many regular Europeans? Is that why it died? Y'all let me know. Y'all give me some feedback. I don't know about that. I think diversity is not necessarily a strength. It can be, but it's not always. I mean, China is eating our lunch, and they just had a great leap forward in the 1960s. Before that, they were just farming and stuff like this. And that's what, 98.5% Han Chinese. So I don't really get it. It's kind of weird. All right. So, yeah, ultimate racist. She's wrong. Hey, the exact opposite. Yeah, I know a lot of the Germanics came, but there's a whole big thing with the Roman Empire. I think the main thing was just you got to behave a certain way. And when people came in who didn't behave a certain way, that probably contributed to the end of it. Invasions, all that kind of stuff as well. Okay. Now, speaking about Europeans, speaking about tradition, speaking about religiosity, if you're going to bring that up, this is Harry Sisson, I believe. One of the young guys, a Biden bro, a Biden influencer. He might have had a little bit of issues with some women or something like this, but it wasn't nothing really. It was just kind of some Snapchat stuff. But he's complaining here about Christianity at the White House. Let's watch. Why is he making that face?
So that was a religious event that took place at the White House the other day, specifically for Trump administration staff. And, you know, it just is so crazy to me how these people can stand in there, sing all these religious songs that often talk about caring for other people, and then they do things like defunding cancer research for children or cutting programs that people rely on. Or
so in order to be a good Christian, you got to fund these programs just because. Okay, so here's the pitch. All right, boom. You guys are Christian, right? And I am a cancer researcher. So give me $20 million a year. And if you don't, you're not Christian. Is that how that works? So if you're Christian, it means you guys got to spend money endlessly, even if you don't have it. How much are we in debt right now? Doesn't it say in the book, pay your debts? How are we going to give more money out that's not really helping when we've not paid our debt? You see, people like this want to weaponize Christianity against Christians and have never read the book.
Or deporting people without due process. Like, do any of those things embody the teachings of the religions that they proclaim to love? Like, they do that. They sing these religious songs in the White House. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is deporting children, U.S. citizens, who have cancer.
No. Now, some kids did get sent across the border, and they got assistance from the U.S. government, but it was only at the parents' request. So if one of the parents is over there, they might have got deported, they might have got in trouble, and they over there, they want their kids with them. Okay, cool, you got your kids. They're not just getting deported. That ain't really what's going on.
I just find this hypocrisy of singing these religious songs, proclaiming to love religion, while simultaneously doing these really evil things. It's just so gross.
All right, so there we go. So again, a Biden bro, a Biden influencer, weaponizing Christianity against Christians. I hate when guys do that, because when they do that, they never understand theology. They don't read the book. They just say, oh, you guys are the do-gooders. You guys love people, but what about this and what about that? Well, look at the entire picture. Is it righteous in Christianity to break into someone's home, to break into someone's country, to violate the laws? Is it Christ-like to not pay your debts? It says it right there in the book. Thou shalt not steal, pay your debts. What are we saying here, bro? Just say you hate Trump. Just say Orange Man bad and leave it there, rather than trying to get into theology, which you're not very knowledgeable of. Anyway, so yeah, exactly right. Beth said, take things out of context. Exactly. Taking things out of context. All righty. So yeah, shout out to him. Okay, now look. We got some houses. Hold on.
Yeah.
This house costs over $1 million in LA County. Now, for you guys out there in California, shout out to California. No, I did my video about how California sucks. The people in California, you got some great people in California. You have great people there. Some of you guys live in California, you great people, but you also have some bad people. People that are professional crack smokers, professional meth lab blow uppers. You got some of them in California as well. But the main reason why I say California sucks is because of the policy. Gavin Newsom. Everything is just through the roof. Gas, housing, everything is through the roof. Expensive, unaffordable, dangerous areas, soft on crime, wildfires happening, no water in the reservoir, things like that. That's what I say when I say California sucks. Aside from that, look, if California had good governance, it'd be beautiful, more than what it is right now. But it doesn't. So look, check it out. What do you think a $1 million home in LA County will look like? Will it be luxurious? Are we going to get a McMansion? What's happening? Let's watch.
Y'all, we went to another open house.
Ooh. Oh, look at this stained glass. Well, look at this bathroom. Whoa.
Ooh.
What the heck? I almost feel like it's kind of like a remodeling kind of situation. Like, ooh, I like this one. Whoa. No, I don't think so.
Y'all.
$1 million. Now you see some of these fixtures. Look at the towel. That pink towel. Now, what year is that from? What decade is that from? 1960? 1970? I'm thinking 1968. Right around then. That reminds me of Granddad's bathroom in his house, and he had that built back, I think, maybe late 60s, early 70s, something like this. The house that my dad grew up in was like that, but rather than pink, they had green. I'm talking about like forest green tiles everywhere, and the bathroom was forest green as well. And that bathroom would scare me, man, going down there, because the toilet seat, it had them the back pieces that keep it on the seat. It was like eyes, and it was dark, and it was green. I'm like, man, what is this, man? Am I in a dungeon? But yeah, shout out to the old school style. $1 million. Yo, check it out. If we're gonna have bars on the window for $1 million, don't even worry about it. I'm good. If you're gonna have bars on the window for over $1 million, I'll find a different state to live in. I don't care what I gotta do. I'm not gonna do that to myself. $1 million for bars, you gotta be out of your mind. Out of your mind. Now look, speaking about scamming and stuff earlier, I gotta show y'all this because this is a popular thing that's happening. Now look, what you may see is this scam. Now, when you go park a lot of times, especially in Atlanta, this is very popular in Atlanta. When you park in the random sketchy parking lot, you in Midtown, downtown. First of all, I don't advise you park in downtown Atlanta. And if it looks kind of sketchy, it's like a back alley, it's a dude with a hot vis vest, it's like 10 spots, don't do it. But a lot of y'all do it. And what happens is it'll be a QR code to scan to pay. The problem is they'll put like a skimmer over the QR code. Let's watch. Okay, so you see right there, he's peeling the fake QR code off to reveal the actual QR code underneath of it. Okay, so a lot of times what happened is the ATL dudes are funny. They'll put a fake QR sticker over a real one, and the fake one to go to their Cash App. I've seen it happen before, and people don't even think, oh, like, okay, I'll just pay the Cash App. Yeah, it just, that's kind of how it happens. And I've seen them when they're really, really well done. They'll have, you see this whole big sign right here? The entire sign, they'll make over, they'll recreate the entire sign and put it on top of the old sign. So you can't just peel it off like that. The whole sign will be replaced. So be careful when you scanning these little things. And again, if you got a sketchy parking lot, side of the road, something like this, 10 spots, the guys out front, they look a little bit, suspicious, don't park. And if you're going to park, you might as well get a boot, because scanning that QR code, you're going to get robbed. All right, now check it out. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. We got a few videos to get into, and I got no time. Now check it out. Marco Rubio. Hey, Marco is growing on me. He's doing a great job in this role. Let's hear from him. Let's get some sound. And shout out to Marco Rubio. And we got some drip on the table, some merch. Gulf of America MAGA hats. I'm with it. I like it.
Would be fine. Mr. President, can I ask Secretary Rubio, can I ask you a question? You brought up El Salvador in your remarks. Have you been in touch with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia? Has a formal request from this administration been made?
Well, I would never tell you that. And you know who else I'll never tell? A judge. Because the conduct of our foreign policy belongs to the President of the United States and the executive branch, not some judge. So we will conduct foreign policy appropriately if we need to. But I'll never discuss it. And no one will ever make us discuss it, because that's how foreign policy works.
Mr. President.
Would be fine. Yeah, there you go. That's all I'm talking about. Hey, man, just talk to him straight, man. Talk to him straight, because they keep asking these stupid questions, trying to defend gangbangers and stuff like that. It's like, look, man, don't worry about that. I ain't worried about these fake judges, these activist judges, setting Tesla bombers free, trying to get back illegal alien gangbangers, beating their wife and stuff like this. Nah, I ain't gonna tell you nothing. I ain't gonna tell that judge nothing. This is executive branch business. Mind your business. I love it. Love it. So again, shout out to Marco Rubio. Fantastic. Now look. Okay. This guy. Wait. Oh, I gotta just try to get his name right. Sri Thanadar of Michigan. Do y'all know him? Hey, who in this chat voted for this man? Now look, we gotta just put him on the screen. This guy has introduced articles of impeachment against the president. He's trying to impeach the President Trump. Now, this guy, hold on. Before I say the wrong thing, is he a senator? No, I think he's a House rep. Yeah, he's a House rep from Michigan, a Democrat, of course. He's Indian, obviously, and he is 70 years old. 70 years old, bro. Clearly, we got a wig on. We got false eyebrows for some reason. You're an Indian dude with no beard. I don't trust you. Off the rip. All the Indian guys I know got a beard. You look like you're trying to be Jimmy Fallon. Your suit is not tailored at all. You went straight to Burlington Coat Factory and put that on before you went to. You went straight to Burlington Coat Factory before you did this and put that on. You ain't even talked to the lady in there to get it altered or nothing. You have on a size 44 long, but you should wear 36 short. What's happening here? Okay, now that was on my chest. I wanted to get it off. I had to get it off my chest because that was on my chest for a while. This big crazy suit you got on, and you want to impeach our president, bro, before you impeach the president, how about you impeach the tailor for not getting you right foot up the store? You should impeach Burlington Coat Factory. You should impeach Men's Warehouse. You should impeach JCPenney, Sears, Montgomery Ward for not getting your suit together. All right, I'm done. Let's watch.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact.
Bro, man, if you don't get back to the store, they need you, man. Look, your employees and quit. Everybody getting they getting slushies, Slurpees, all of that on GP. Okay, hold on. All right, that was racist. I'm sorry. That was racist. I'm sorry.
This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern. That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment. Article 1.
We good, bro. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. We straight. I'm not trying to hear all 7. Okay. What I want to hear is a sewing machine and your blazer getting tightened up before this video ends, but I'm not going to hear that. So I'll cut you off right now. Don't even worry about it. But bro, you 70 years old looking like that? Have you had plastic surgery? Now look, what I've read on the interwebs is that he's been abusing the H-1B system to enrich himself, probably with his own fellow villagemen from India. Okay. Like, this guy is a mess, a complete mess. Yo, it looks like Jimmy Fallon. Somebody said he looks like Keenan from SNL playing a white guy. Hold on, let me see if I can find a picture of Keenan on SNL. And we'll keep moving. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But yeah, nah. I mean, Shri Thanedar trying to impeach the president. No, we're not going to do that. We will not do that. Now, let's get back. At that same discussion with Rubio, you got RFK Jr. dropped a bomb talking about what the government was doing, whether it was by happenstance, whether it was on purpose or whatever. Let's watch this.
We have ended HHS as the role as the vector, the principal vector in this country for child trafficking. And during the Biden administration, HHS became a collaborator in child trafficking and for sex and for slavery. And we have ended that, and we're very aggressively going out and trying to find these children, the 300,000 children that were lost by the Biden administration.
So did you hear what he said? He says HHS was complicit in allowing children to fall victim to sex trafficking and slavery in this country. And there's some 300,000 missing children in this country. Now, some of that number, 300,000, is going to be your older kids, your gangbangers or whatever, MS-13. But it's also going to be a bunch of young children who were sold into the country as slaves. And as sex trafficking, that is a real thing that happened in this country with HHS under Biden. And now we're getting rid of it. And you got to ask yourself a question. Ask yourself this question. Why would anybody, including the funny suit Indian dude, why would anybody be against us trying to reverse what they did to this country, to those children, to those innocent people? Why would anybody be against it? Huh? I know you were against having a teller for your suit jacket, but at least before having children be safe, be free. So yeah, shout out to RFK Jr. Another great pick for the administration. Now, speaking about great picks for the administration, Doge, again, probably my favorite new government agency or well, that's probably the only new one. My favorite agency, period, Doge, getting rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse. The thing that Slick Willie said, the thing that Barack Obama said that they didn't do, we're actually getting done right now. Okay, we're fulfilling promises from previous generations, and those who made the promises are mad we're doing it. Your people like your Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they were all on board with getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse back then. They said they were. I'm not sure if it was correct. I'm not sure if it was true. They said they were for getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. But now when we're doing it, it's a problem.
The young man sent over by Doge the IT update that began in 1990, which was begun before he was born, is going to be finished during your term. So trade, you couldn't make it up. Trade
So there we go. So that's Scott Bessent, the Secretary of the Treasury. And what he's saying is right on point. There was an IT upgrade started in 1990. Was that 35 years ago? And nothing has really happened, because the way the government works often is they just start projects and they keep working on it because they keep getting paid. There's no incentive to finish it because the money is there. All right, look, I can work 35 years and not do much and retire and live high on the hog. So why would I want to finish the project? But the role of government is not to just create jobs for people. It is to actually get things done, to do things for the citizenry. It's not just for employment. I mean, there's jobs that are done. There's jobs that need to be done, but it's not just for that purpose. All right. Yeah, very old systems, Jackie T. Very old systems from way back in the day. A lot of old infrastructure, a lot of that going on all over the country. So we should focus on upgrading our systems, upgrading the way we do things, rather than relying upon old technology. And the thing about it is we spend so much money. If we just upgrade the thing and get the project done, we could save money. We're spending all this money to try to, the whole thing with the mine they got, the underground mine with all those records in it. We spend so much money to make that system function and operate, or we could just upgrade it and slash costs. The upgrade going to cost, but it'll actually save us money in the long run, rather than keeping that mine operating the way it's operating. All right, let's watch this. Here's Elon talking about Doge a little bit more.
Look, I think it's mostly, if you say, look, what's the waste to fraud ratio? Yeah. In my opinion, it's like 80% waste, 20% fraud. But you do have these sort of gray areas.
Yeah.
So,
Example
would be, so we saw a lot of payments going out of Treasury that had no payment code and no explanation for the payment. And then we're trying to figure out what that payment is, and we'd see that, okay, that contract was supposed to be shut off, but someone forgot to shut off that contract, and so the company kept getting money.
Wow.
Now, is that waste or fraud?
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
but
both.
it's sort of
If you know you're getting something you're not supposed to get.
You're not supposed to get it, but the government sent it to you, and nobody from the government asked for it back. Take, for example, the $1.9 billion given to Stacey Abrams, a fake NGO.
Utter insanity.
Look, I think
Stacey Abrams, that's something else, though. So Stacey Abrams had the NGO, and I think this NGO was given $2 billion, when before that, it only had $100 in the account. Listen to me very well. The NGO got $2 billion, but there was only $100 in the account. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. This is why they don't like Elon. That's why. Like, don't get it confused. Don't get it twisted. That's why they hate Elon, because he's trying to attack that. So if you were a Stacey Abrams, you became a multimillionaire, whatever it is, from fraud, and then Elon comes in and says, hey, we're going to stop the fraud, you're going to be mad. You're going to be mad. If you work a job where you don't do anything and you get paid very handsomely, well into the six figures, and Elon says, okay, you're not doing anything, why are we paying you? You're going to be mad. That's all. It's all about money. People shouldn't be getting They're mad they can't get it anymore. Very simple. $2 billion. Let me see if I can find that article right quick, because I saw that. I was reading that today. Okay. Let me see. Okay, here we go. This is from February 26th. This is on John Kennedy's Senate.gov website. Okay, I put it right here for you guys. All right. So, press release. Kennedy condemns Biden administration for doling out $2 billion to Abrams-backed climate change organization. It's right here from February. So, it's not even something that's new. You can see the date right there, although it's kind of small. Okay, let me see if I can see this right here. So, look. John Kennedy, in a speech on the Senate floor, questioned how a 6-month-old nonprofit with $100 in the bank and ties to former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams was able to secure a $2 billion climate change grant from the Biden administration's EPA. Did I lie to you? Did I lie to you? I don't tell lies on these interwebs. I'm an always 100% truthful person, and I got my sources to back it up. Okay, Senator got on the Senate floor and said that. So yeah, that's the whole game. That's the game. And Stacey Abrams, man, I don't know why they thought that she would be somebody. Like, they're trying to make her be a potential presidential nominee, a VP pick. Ain't gonna happen, man. It is not gonna happen. Lunch lady at best. Lunch lady at best. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like this video, share this video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. AMG said speeches on the Forbes YouTube channel. Alrighty. I might do a video about that potentially, if it makes sense. Now, here is Chuck Schumer talking about the SAVE Act will restore Jim Crow. Now, the SAVE Act, let's be on the same page. What is the SAVE Act? The SAVE Act is you have to show identification. You got to prove that you're a citizen to be able to register to vote. Okay, I'm gonna show it on the screen for you guys so you know I'm not telling you the wrong thing. Okay, so this is HR 22, the SAVE Act. And let's put it on the screen. It said this bill requires individuals to prove documentary proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. That's all. So why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing to show documentation that says, yes, I am a citizen. Yes, I can vote. How is that going to bring back Jim Crow? And why do they always invoke black struggles and stuff like that to prove their point and be wrong as wrong could be? Let's watch Chucky Boy. And I don't know how old this man is, but good grief, man. Just go ahead and, you know what I mean? Anyway.
They don't understand the sacredness of elections and keeping them fair. The kind of legislation, the kind of executive orders, which are so jaundiced, so slanted on the side of one party, are the antithesis of democracy. On the one side, Donald Trump recently issued an executive order that will coerce states to prevent millions of Americans from voting. On the other, Republicans in Congress are pushing the SAVE Act, one of the most destructive, dangerous voter suppression bills in recent memory. It is very reminiscent of Jim Crow. That's what Republicans want to do. They want to not only restore Jim Crow in the South, they want to have Jim Crow spread from one end of this country to the other. It will not happen. It will not happen. Let me be clear. I will not let this noxious bill, the SAVE Act, become law. Every Senate Democrat, every single one of us is united against it. They need 60 votes. The SAVE Act is dead on arrival. I'd like to say it louder so my friends in the House and in the right wing over here can hear. The SAVE Act is dead on arrival. Democrat.
All right, there we go. There's Chuck Schumer. Hey, somebody says, is he still living? Barely. barely. He's still in there. I'm not sure how, but barely he is alive. All righty. Now, look. Jim Crow, though, is that what we're going to say? I hate them when they do stuff like that, when they try to invoke black stuff to prove their point, and it's not even something that connects. What does having to prove that you are a citizen got to do with Jim Crow? Okay, all right, look, everybody got ID, whether you black, white, Puerto Rican, and Canadian stripe. You have ID. There's no excuse to not have an ID. If you don't have ID as an adult, you don't want to have it. You're just lazy. And if you don't want to have an ID, if you're lazy, if you want to smoke crack all day, then why are you voting anyway? You don't know what's going on. That should be the basic test right there. Do you have identification? No? Okay, bye. Bye. Goodbye. Now check it out. Did you guys see that judge who helped an illegal alien escape ICE who got arrested? Okay, we got a little bit of protest out here for her.
Dugan will be free, no justice, no peace. Judge Dugan will be free, no justice, no peace.
Usual suspects, you know them. Usual suspects.
Judge Dugan will be free, no justice, no peace. Judge Dugan will be free, no justice, no peace.
When I say usual suspects, I don't mean white people necessarily. It's a certain kind of white person. I'm talking about these guys, fat, soy, LGBT. These are the kind of whites that spray paint swastikas onto Cybertrucks. That's them. They're not just regular white folks. It's not y'all. It's not anybody in the chat that's white. It's them. It's your cousin who you don't want to see at Thanksgiving, Christmas, the reunion, or whatever. And as a matter of fact, they might keep that cousin in the back room. You know what I mean? You go in your aunt's house and y'all in the front just hanging out, doing your thing, eating dinner. And here come Dylan with some tidy whities on and no shirt and a pair of tube socks. All right, now, okay, dinner's almost done. I got fresh chicken tendies for you. Go back in the room. When he comes outside and begins to interact with humans, he goes to blow up Teslas. We saw earlier with the dude that was a transformer. That'd be the exact same kind of guy who's in your aunt's back room who doesn't come out except for chicken tendy time. Alrighty? But anyway, those are the people who are protesting in favor of the judge who got locked up for helping the illegal alien. And that is the lady right there. Okay? That is her right there with a mask on her face and a mask on a bust of Abraham Lincoln for some reason. See, there we go. That's them. Big mask all over the face, mask on an inanimate object, just to show how dedicated she is, just to show how in tune with Anthony Fauci, all that kind of stuff. Oh, somebody say irregulars. Exactly. Irregulars. 100% irregulars. That's them.
Judge, anything to say about this?
So that's her. All right, now we got Jacob Fry, the Minneapolis mayor. Talking about that kind of situation with the judge who got arrested and whatnot. Let's watch. And the lower third says Mayor Fry responds to orders targeting sanctuary cities.
Have a federal administration going in to arrest someone from the judicial branch. We've got a separation of powers, and that separation is there for a very important reason.
Well, look, though, if a judge commits a criminal act, they have to get arrested. So, look, if a judge does something, if a judge just opens fire on people, will they not get arrested because they're a judge? I don't understand how that works.
Legislatures pass laws, the executive branch carries those laws out, the judicial branch interprets those laws. And when someone who is in charge of interpreting law is arrested by a federal administration, this is no small deal. We need to be very keenly aware of what's happening around us right now.
Look, okay, see, the logic here is irrelevant. Now, let me just put it in this. What he's saying right now is like this example I'm about to say. All right, I am a McDonald's employee. I flip burgers and dip fries and mop the floor. I got arrested at work, but I was not arrested for dipping the fries, flipping the burgers, and mopping the floor. I was arrested for stealing money from the register. I got locked up for beating somebody up at the job. I got locked up for putting some food on the ground, putting my Timberland boot on it, putting it in the bag, and then getting into somebody. I was arrested for things outside of what my job is, I got locked up for criminal activity. Now, the criminal activity here, in the case of Miss Hannah, was when she sees ICE in the courtroom and there is an illegal alien right there, she goes above and beyond to prevent this guy from getting deported. See, now you're interfering with official government business. If I do that, I get locked up. So why would she be any different? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, Jacob.
Now, like, this is not a partisan issue. This kind of thing can be a threat to the whole republic. And so, yeah, of course, it's very concerning. And in Minneapolis, again, we care about our neighbors. These are people that have lived here in many cases for decades. These are residents. They work here. They got kids here, and here they're not illegal aliens. They are our neighbors, and we care about them. Love them. You have
all right. There we go. So look, if you're living in Minneapolis, you don't have illegal aliens. You have neighbors, and they love you. Okay, they love you. Okay, the MS-13 gang members, the criminals, the scammers, they love you. It's no problem. If somebody gets beheaded on the bus by one of them Somalis who was not vetted properly, look, it don't matter, man. It's all good. Hey, don't be racist now. Don't be racist. Don't say that. Don't be racist. Accept it because they love you. They're our neighbors. It's fine. So that's pretty much what, again, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, has said. Now, this is Mary Gay Scanlon. Some of you guys may have her in your district. Let me see where she is from. She is from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's 5th Congressional District. All righty. So here she is saying the same thing that Jacob Fry said. They're really trying to hammer that point home about protecting the illegal aliens. I don't think most Americans like the whole thing about trying to defend illegal aliens. You should defend American citizens. You guys are going above and beyond to defend illegal aliens. What about us? What about the actual citizens? The actual people who have built this nation, who pay taxes, who follow the law, who don't go out here scamming, robbing, doing things on the down low, underneath the table. What about us as American citizens? We get pushed to the back, and those who are breaking the law here illegally get pushed to the front. Let's watch this.
11% of my district is foreign born. That is a mix of people who are citizens, green card holders, visa holders, some undocumented, but they have families. And their entire communities are terrified at this point because of the lawless behavior we're seeing from this administration. 11% of...
So there we go. Okay. Hey, you just want to defend them. You want to defend them. Now we're picking sides. We're picking sides. Not a fan. And I don't think it's okay to include legal immigrants in with illegal aliens. That's not fair. That is not fair. If I was here legally as a legal citizen, I would be offended. How dare you put me in that same category? I'm not them. I am not them. I did the right thing. They didn't. That's their fault, not my fault. All right, so here we go. This is MS-13 DNC. Let's watch this right quick.
I get to talk to a lawyer today, and when I do, I take my glasses off and talk straight. Let's just talk about the legal aspect of this. Can the government actually reserve public benefits or academic opportunities like Fulbright scholarships just for married parents?
Well, we have a real question of what that means for equal opportunity for all people coming under the 14th Amendment. Look, it's not unusual that governments would create an incentive for people to raise families.
Let's pause. Pause for a second. If we cannot give a benefit to married parents, then why do we give benefits to single parents? So let's not do that. Let's not do that because, okay, equal opportunity. All right, well, why must you be single parent, make an uncertain amount of money to get benefits? Okay, I need food stamps. Give me some food stamps. Why can't I get it? Oh, I'm not a single parent. Oh, I make too much money. So there's always categories of people who will be able to get certain things from the government and those who are not going to be able to get it.
That's not unusual nationally. But what's really going on here is what you've pointed out, which is that here are these policies that I think are meant to do two things. One predates the Civil War, this idea of replacement theory, a need for certain people to have more children, this fear of the browning and blackening.
Pause. It's not even about the browning and the blackening, because let's be clear, Miss Black Lady, black folks in America are also below replacement. So don't do that. Don't do that. If it's about trying to get more people to, so we don't die out, white Americans and black Americans are both below replacement. So it's not about blackening and browning
of the United States. But then there's a part two that comes a century ago when child labor had no protections whatsoever and children were working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks. And exactly what you touched upon is what's being proposed in some states. And these are the same states that have abortion bans, where they want children to be driving at 13 and 14 years old to go to labor their jobs.
I mean, how can you watch this and really just take it seriously? Here's the problem with a lot of people. The problem with a lot of your normies you might see at work or just out in the street. They watch ladies like this and really believe it. They internalize it. Ain't no 14-year-old about to go work in the coal mine or nothing like this. That ain't really what's happening. They're having a hard time finding coal miners, period, let alone a 14-year-old. Listen, when I was 14, I wanted to work. I knew 14-year-olds that were working. And we ain't talking about we're talking about working retail, working at a restaurant, doing stuff like that. Even I wouldn't be against working in the field. I sure wouldn't be against it if you're getting paid right and you're not getting beat. Oh, you want to go pick cotton? You're a slave. Listen, there are a bunch of jobs that we do right now that were also done during slavery. I did those jobs. During slavery, you used to work in the kitchen. And what did I do for the first 5 years of my working life? Working in the kitchen. Okay, the same thing that I would have been doing during slavery. But guess what the difference is? Guess what? I could actually choose to go to work or not go to work. I could actually live where I wanted to live and do my own thing, rather than being basically locked up working. And the funny part is you got guys that will feel like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to be in the street. They go in the street, and then when they get locked up, they do the exact same thing that I was doing in prison rather than being free, which is funny, but I digress.
Where they would be working over 40 hours a week. I mean, there are proposals right now to do away with child labor protections in various states and to allow for children to work 40-hour work weeks in second and third shift.
I don't see nothing wrong with that, to be totally honest. Like, you could do it when you're 14, 15, 16, you have so much energy, you could do it. I worked, I would say almost 40 hours when I was like in high school still. Like when I was 17, because I had a short day. It was nothing for me. Look, I go to school, come home, do my homework if I got any, get dressed to go to work. I work from like 2:30 to close. That'd be like 10:30. I get off of work, I'm going straight to the club. Hey, wherever I'm going straight to the boom. Cause I'm 18. I got energy.
You cannot make that up. And of course, that does not speak to protecting children, to making sure that women have paid parental leave, to expanding Medicaid or anything like that. It is really rooted in exploitation.
All right, there we go. So no, Miss Lady, it's not about exploitation. It's about a lot of kids are trying to work. And what happens sometimes, especially in low income areas, rather than working the job, which is what they could be doing at 14, 15, rather than doing that, they hit the street. And that's where you start to get locked up. So then when they get locked up, now you got to work it anyway. In Virginia, you could be tried as an adult in Virginia at age 14. Age 14, you could be tried as an adult in Virginia. But they want to say, oh, you can't work till you get to be when? Oh, you can't. If I'm able to be locked up as an adult at age 14, why can't I work as an adult at age 14 instead of doing something to get me locked up? Anyway, so yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. Listen, I'm 18 years old. Like, I got energy now, and I'm 40 years old. 18, man, forget about it. Listen. You play basketball outside for 2 hours, go to work, get off, go do something, go to a house party, club, go home, play video games, whatever you want to do, and be up all night because you're young, you got energy. All right, we got a few more. Then we're going to get to some calls, but we got a few more here. There's actually a lot more. Let me just keep rocking and rolling here. All righty. So where are we going to go next? Oh, the Canadian election. I did have something about that, but I've not really watched the Canadian election. Okay. So I think somebody was spamming me. They were talking to me earlier about this. Hold on. Canadian election. Okay. Let me put it on the screen for you guys right quick. And let me get rid of these ads. Y'all give me a second. Okay, so boom, there we go. Canada election results live updates. Mark Carney's Liberal Party win as country rebukes Trump's trade agenda. So, did the Liberals win? Is that what happened here? Let's play this right quick. Hey, Canada. To all the Canadians in the chat, what I want is for Trump to offer you guys asylum because you're going to need it.
I began with humility. The Canadians are ambitious. And now, more than ever, it is a time for ambition. It is a time to be bold, to meet this crisis with overwhelming positive force of a united Canada. Because we are going to build, baby, build.
All right, so there we go. The Liberal Party in Canada won. How you guys feel about that? Let me read some of this right quick. The White House has taunted Mark Carney over Donald Trump's desire to turn Canada into America's 51st state, saying a remarkable election of result does not change that plan. Even if Mr. Trump congratulates the Canadian Prime Minister on his victory, Mr. Carney's Liberal Party won following a campaign dominated by the U.S. president's trade war, but short of gaining an outright majority in Parliament, which will force Mr. Carney to seek the backing of at least one minor party. Okay, so I'm not sure how your elections work in Canada, all the intricacies and all that good stuff, but from what I'm seeing right here, the Liberals won. They have elections. Exactly. They got elections in Canada for y'all do that in Canada? Okay, and the subhead beneath the title says, the White House spokesperson says the election result does not affect President Trump's plan. Here's a Canadian person talking about the result.
I think who I voted for would be the best to take care of Trump, because Trump is, I'm sorry to say, an ass, and he shouldn't even be president of the United States. But because he is, we need a strong person so that we could stand strong.
That's crazy. So you voted for a guy to lead your country because he would fight another guy from a different country. That you know right there, that tells you how important we are. I mean, I know that, y'all know that, but this tells you right here, because never have I ever heard anybody say, you know what, we got to fight. We got to get a guy that's going to get in there and really fight the Canadian Prime Minister or fight the Mexican president. Like, we don't care about that. We care about the United States. We're the best, and everybody knows it. We're the engine to make the whole world. Look, if there's no more USA, ain't no more West, ain't no more civilization, it's all over with. Like Elon Musk said, we are the most important piece. So much so, you got elections hinging on what we do over here. That's crazy. But to the Canadians, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think that it was a smart move to vote for the guy that they voted for? Or not? Y'all let me know. But yeah, that tells you who's important here. All right. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, it's not even really a thing. So when I'm hearing Europeans and stuff like this talk about, I'm like, man, you better shut up, man. Don't nobody care. Like Romania, you better pipe down. I remember when they said what France was trying to talk crazy. It's like, France? Really? Look, man, wave the white flag and bow out of the argument right now because you're not going to win that against the USA. It is what it is. All right. So I'm reading right here. Canadians have voted for the Liberal Party for 4 elections in a row. 4 consecutive elections, you guys voted for the Liberal Party. So that includes Trudeau, right? You want more of the same. We're sitting here in the USA looking at Trudeau like he's a clown, but y'all must like him. Y'all must like him. I guess not all you guys who are watching, but your countrymen must like him. Okay, so this is the India-Pakistan border. Now, some of y'all were asking me about, well, I covered this story about India and Pakistan. No sound here, but there's been tensions with India and Pakistan. I think that this is not something new. Look at how they look. This is the same thing they might have been wearing 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Some nations are still very old. They've not really advanced. And it's okay. I'm not trying to say they're wrong for not advancing, but my point is that this ain't nothing new. Okay, it's kind of been going on, and I don't foresee it ending anytime soon. It looks kind of comical right now, but they're so serious. Oh, those guns do work, and they will kill you. Okay. So yeah, Paul 48 says Carney's new PM, not Trudeau. Well, I know Trudeau's out because Trudeau had resigned already. But what I'm saying is it's the same party. So you guys must like, okay, you got Trudeau from Liberal Party. Now you got Carney from the same party. It's like, okay, if you got Barack Obama for 2 terms and then after he's done, you vote for another liberal. You must like it. That's the problem. Canada is a cold California. Beautiful place, great people, but a lot of liberal people in that particular place. That's Canada. Same thing as California. All right. Now we got to get to the thing about the MS-13 and the tattoos, all that kind of stuff. We have to get to it. Hold on. Let me see if I got to pull up the tattoo in question because they're squabbling about, well, there was no MS-13 on his hand. That was Photoshop, all this, that, and the third. Squabbling about things that don't really matter. Because ultimately, what matters is the fact that the guy's part of MS-13 and he was here illegally. That's what matters. All that other stuff does not matter. All right, so here we go. This is going to be ABC News. I forget the guy's name. And I keep looking it up every time and I forget it every time. What's this guy's name? The guy that was interviewing Trump. His name is Terry Morin. I will not remember that, but I'll try my best. So here you are talking about Kimar Brego Garcia, the gang tattoos, things of this nature. In the Oval Office, by the way.
Wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in your picture.
Terry,
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
Okay, so now, as I said in my video, Trump is wrong here, but he's right. And it's not enough to squabble over. The guy, Terry, shouldn't have squabbled over that because it's an unnecessary point to make. Now, listen, here is what Trump was talking about. Now, Trump held this picture. That's Trump's fingers holding the picture, probably in the Oval Office. Now, look, Terry was squabbling with Trump about these actual characters. You see, the letter M, the letter S, the number 1, and number 3. Those were added. That is Photoshop, yes. But why were they added right there, Terry? You want to just complete that? You want to actually tell me why those were put right there? Why was it put right there, Terry? It's a label to show what each tattoo means. These are gang tattoos. So the marijuana leaf, that's an M. Smiley face, that's an S. The cross, that's a 1. The skull is a 3. MS-13. And here's something else. If he goes to prison with those tattoos and he's not MS-13, he's going to be dealt with. So squabbling about whether it was the MS-1 and 3 or whether it was the tattoos is irrelevant. He's a gang member and we all know it. And there's a mountain of evidence to prove it. And the thing about it is, squabbling about that, having to put out pictures and try to go to prison to get this guy, Americans don't like it. You're wasting your time. You are wasting time. So why do this? Terry, come on now. It was no point to squabble over that. You should have just left it be. Leave it be. Don't even try to combat it. So what we're going to do is find the picture and then look at it. You're going to say, oh, that's Photoshop. Which one Photoshop, though? Which part of it is Photoshop? The labels or the actual tattoos on his hands that says MS-13 is a gang tattoo. It could be interpreted that way. I don't know. Shut up. Shut up. Like, come on, man. Yo, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a Baphomet right here in the center of my forehead. But look, don't worry about that, man. I'm not really a Satanist like that. Yes, I know it's a tattoo right in the center of my forehead, but I'm cool. I'm a Christian with the Baphomet right here. A fresh Baphomet right here. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Come on, Terry. Back it up, Terry. Shout out to Terry. Somebody said Tampon Terry. You're hilarious. All right, Terry Moron is right. Yeah, that's a great name, Terry. Hey, great name, Terry Moron. I'm gonna use that. Hey, know me train. I'm going to take that from you. Please let me borrow that. Let me hold it. I'll give you credit. Terry Moron. That's a great way to remember his name. Terry Moran. I wasn't gonna remember that, but Terry Moron got a nice ring to it, like Tampon Tim. Okay.
Back.
Let's watch one more of these, and I keep on moving here. From the same interview on ABC News with Terry Moron and our president, Donald Trump, in the Oval Office.
That illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods. And so I want to ask
about my message?
Methods. About your methods. How you're accomplishing
they seem to work.
Do you acknowledge?
Hey, they do work. Terry Moron didn't say nothing after that. Hold on.
Methods. About your methods. How you're accomplishing
they seem to work.
Do you acknowledge that under our law, every single person who gets deported gets a hearing first to make their case?
Well, are we talking about people that are citizens of our country or not?
No, you aren't deporting citizens at this point.
Well, let me ask you, did they get hearings when Biden allowed 21 million, because I think the number is 20 million people to flow into our country? You had 21 million people that came into our country through a stupid open border, and they were prisoners, and they were people that you don't want in many cases in our country, right? They came from all over the world. They came from the Congo. They came from South. They came from all over the world. We're talking about some of the roughest countries in the world. They had here, including terrorists, by the way. Now,
but
did we give them a hearing when they came in?
Well, the law requires fact.
Exactly. Was there a hearing for that? And then here's the thing about it. 21 million on the conservative estimate. 21 million came into the country illegally during the Biden administration. So you got to give everybody a court date and all that, man. No, we ain't doing that, man. Get up out of here. And you know what? People are going to say, what about due process? Check it out. Do a poll nationally and see who cares about that. Do the poll and see who cares. It could be you next. How's it going to be me next? I'm a citizen. Well, they deported citizens. No, they didn't. You talking about them kids that got sent back with their mom in Mexico or wherever she's at? That's not deportation. That's called a parent wanting their kids to be with them. That's not deportation. The kids are able to come back. They're not deported. Look, deportation is something very specific. If you're deported, you are not allowed to come back into the country. Citizens cannot be deported. That'd be called exile. We don't do that in this country. If you're deported, you're not here legally, or you may have been here legally, but you're not a citizen. You cannot come back once you're deported. Now, with the kids, a kid got cancer, ABL got deported. The parent requested the kids come to wherever they are, which is out of the country. And they were helped by the administration to do that. Given the free plane ride, whatever it is. Hey, you know what? You want your kids? Go ahead, take them. The kids are able to come back because they were not deported. Does that make sense? So look, check it out. When the kids get to be of age, or if the parent becomes a citizen or whatever, come on back because you're still a citizen. Does that make sense? So yeah, shout out to Terry Moron. Not a big fan of his at all. At all. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. I got some more here. Where do I want to go next? I got a little bit of time. I have a little bit of time. All right. Let's see where we at. Oh, Shedeur Sanders. Did you guys see what happened to Shedeur Sanders? Okay. So Shedeur Sanders was prank called by somebody. And that somebody wound up being the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator's son. So they fined him $100,000 and fined the Falcons $250,000. So a grand total of $350,000 was fined because of this. So check it out. Hold on, let me put it on the screen. You can see what it says right here. NFL fines Falcons, DC defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich over Shedeur Sanders' prank call. So this guy, his son got access to his iPad, and he found a number for Shedeur Sanders on the iPad and prank called him and said, okay, you got to wait or whatever it is.
To Mr. Blaine, Terry Fontenot, Reed Morris.
Let me start from the beginning.
To publicly apologize to Shedeur and the Sanders family for what occurred. Second of all, I want to publicly apologize to Mr. Blaine, Terry Fontenot, Reed Morris, and the entire Falcons organization. My actions of not protecting confidential data were inexcusable. My son's actions were absolutely inexcusable.
I don't really blame him, though. I blame the son, because why are you doing that? Look, if I'm this guy, if I'm Jeff Ulbrich, yo, me and the son gonna fight for real. Me and the son gonna fist fight, and that's on God. We gonna fist fight. I ain't gonna hurt him real bad, but we gonna fist fight. He gonna get punched right in the jaw for doing something like that. Because listen, you stole, really. That's what that was. You went in my personal property and stole something, and you caused my team to get embarrassed. You caused me to get embarrassed, and I gotta pay $100,000. You're gonna learn this lesson right now, bro. Hey, put them up. We can put on gloves. That's fine. We can put on little UFC, little lightweight gloves, and we're gonna fight off rip. $100,000 I gotta pay because of you, and you're not a little boy. You're like in college, man. Please, we're gonna fight off rip. and afterward, it'd be a handshake, and it's like, okay, son, that was lesson right there. You do stuff like that, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. Or if I want to be a soft parent, what I'm gonna do is cut you off financially. Something gotta happen, because that's crazy. You're gonna prank call Shedeur Sanders, make a whole big national scene? Nah, we don't do stuff like that. We don't do stuff like that. Or pay me back. Exactly. Either we gonna fight you pay me back, or I cut you off financially. Probably a combination of all three. Okay, so look, the Eagles won the championship game. Speaking about football, they won a championship game, beat the Chiefs. The Eagles won, beat the Chiefs. And of course, when you win a Super Bowl, you get invited to the White House. Now, the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, didn't want to go, which is fine. If you don't want to go, that's totally fine if you don't want to go. But the way he responded, the way he was, I didn't like the way he responded to the question. Let's watch.
Are you planning on visiting the White House next week?
On it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Soft, man. I don't like that. It's like, man, look, if you don't want to go, just say that. All this not answering, I don't like that. But it's okay if you don't want to go, but at least be man enough to say why you don't want to go, or at least answer the question. I ain't like that. I didn't like that response. I don't really like him like that, to be totally honest with you. But look, okay, so Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith all did not go to the White House for the championship Super Bowl appearance. And then Don Lemon got mad at who did go, which was Saquon Barkley. RIP to the Giants fans. Why'd y'all let Saquon Barkley go? I know he's a running back and they got a short shelf life, but Saquon Barkley was out there performing miracles on the Philadelphia Eagles football field. He was performing miracles out there. That reverse hurdle he did, listen, the Giants fans were probably incensed, infuriated when they saw that reverse hurdle from Saquon on the Eagles team with the Eagles jersey on.
No.
Anyway, here is Don Lemon talking about Saquon.
Not another brother. What is going on? Well, that's what people are saying on the internet. The internet's hot because this is Saquon Barkley. Obviously went to the White House or, I don't know, to play golf. Flew with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And then this picture came out and folks are roasting him saying, what are you doing, black man? It's always risky to do that, especially in this environment that's where Donald Trump is so divisive. So Saquon felt compelled to respond. Responding by laughing, saying, LOL, I flew with Donald Trump, played golf. Maybe I just respect the office. Not a hard concept to understand. Okay, here's the thing. That's not a hard concept to understand. But when you care about the office, but the person who occupies it doesn't care about it or doesn't respect it, that's problematic. I'm just saying. Saquon, not another brother.
All right, so bro, first of all, Don Lemon, why are you mentioning race? Out of everybody in the world, why are you doing that? Why's it gotta be a black thing? You are married to a whole white man, so what are you talking about? I don't understand. I don't really get it. But there's always guys like this. There's always the LGBTQ element of P, X, Y, and Z's talking like this. Always. It never fails. It never, ever fails. Regular, everyday people, that's not how we talk. It's just not really a thing. But here is Trump introducing, or at least just acknowledging Saquon Barkley.
Great coach inspiring you, and you got the ball to your superstar running back who I met yesterday, and I want to tell you he's a handsome guy, but I wouldn't want to tackle him. Saquon Barkley. Where's Saquon? He's good. I got to know him a little bit. I offered him a ride on Air Force One because I was coming down. And usually they say, no, I don't think so. He said, I'll take it, sir. And he loved it. We love being together. He's a great young guy.
There we go. So our president, my president, shout out to the Orange Man. President Trump, he's always been that same way. And it's weird to see people say that he's not been that same way, that he was a racist at some point in his life. It never was a thing. And if he was a racist, I can't tell. I cannot tell if he was a racist at some point in his life because I've never seen anything racist from him. I've only ever heard things about him from your Don Lemon types. A lot of your haters, they will say negative things, but I've never seen him do anything like what they say. So If I never see it, it's not really real in my humble opinion. If it's only mentioned, it's like Bigfoot. Okay, you say you saw Bigfoot, but where you at though? Can we go take him? Can we go pay him a visit? Can we go feed the Bigfoot like you could feed a dog or some ducks at the pond? Do we bring the Bigfoot a loaf of bread, or we bring him like a whole carcass? Like, what do we do? Until I see it, it doesn't really exist. And hold on, one last thing before we get to the calls. The female pilot. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think this young lady caused the Black Hawk helicopter accident by not listening to the tower? Let me just show what was said. Now, there was an article on New York Times, which is not a conservative rag at all. It's a leftist paper. They wrote a very long article about the whole situation with the Black Hawk helicopter crashing in DC into the passenger jet. 64 at least people died. Rest in peace, prayers out to their family. 64 died as a result on a passenger jet trying to land at DC's Reagan Airport. Now, this very long article would take you from what it said 29 minutes to listen to it being read. Long as a book, right? Toward the end, buried in the article was the most important part. It looks like it's her fault. So check it out. 2 seconds after the controllers cut out instruction about passing behind the jet, Warrant Officer Eves replied, affirming for the second time that the Black Hawk saw the traffic. PA-225 has the aircraft in sight. Request visual separation. I call it VISSEP. So that means, all right, check it out. I don't need you, air traffic control, to give me guidance, to give me direction. I can see it visually. I can see the traffic. I know where I am. I'm good money. I'm good to go, right? That was the last communication. The Black Hawk was 15 seconds away from crossing paths with the jets. Warrant Officer Eves then turned his attention to Captain Lobach, the young lady. He told her he believed that the air traffic control wanted them to turn left toward the East River Bank. Turning left would have opened up more space between the helicopter and Flight 5342, which was heading for runway 33 at an altitude of 300 feet roughly. She did not turn left. She didn't turn left when she was instructed to. She was flying too high, although in that lane she was in, you got to fly at a certain altitude. This was her fault. It was her fault. You pretty much drove or flew right into the airplane and crashed it. So now, is it because she's a young lady? Is that what happened? I'm saying the flight in Toronto, wasn't there also a female crew? I mean, listen, this is why, in my humble opinion, a lot of women especially, and men, of course, are not going to want to have a Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton or, God forbid, Big Mama Stacey Abrams or Big Mike. They don't want them in the White House with the finger on the button. You want to be a senator or something like this? I'm not saying that's unimportant. That's an important role to have, but it's not as important as having your finger on the button. You could be a flight attendant, okay, but you're not flying the plane. You're not flying the helicopter. Oopsies, everybody dead. It's rough, man. Again, RIP to everybody that passed away. But, you know, hey, there we go right there. There we go. And it's not a color thing either. It's not about them being black, white. It's, do we have the most qualified people flying this aircraft? I'm not saying she was unqualified, but do we have the most qualified flying the aircraft? That's the question. That's the question we have. Also, was it done on purpose? Did she intentionally do that to the aircraft? I want to see her medical history. Do we have any prescription drug use? That's a thing. Do we have any drinking, like casually going to a bar? Does her credit card get linked to a liquor store? Was there a tox report done on her? Did we have her body at all to do a tox report? Those are important questions to ask because everything was set up in a certain way that if you follow the rules, you'll be okay. Everybody got to do their job. If you don't do your job, now we got a problem. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty. Let's get to some calls here. All right, the number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And let's get to super chats if we have any here. I got some here. Shout out to Gregortron who says, ABL, I'm blaming the white man for you being late. Shout out to you, boss. Thank you to Unknown Opinionoid who says, shouting emoji. Mass deportation is lowering murder rates in FBA cities all around the USA. Can you make a video about how to call ICE and report companies? I'm going to look into that. Man. Thank you for that. But that right there is an important point to make. Deportation, lowering the crime rate. People act like the crime is not really a big deal. We know it's a big deal, but those on the outside don't really care. Okay, you got criminal aliens, gang members, organized gangs with weapons, drugs, all of that, flooding your neighborhoods. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's going to be for your benefit. How is it going to help me when all I ever see is just prices going up and my neighborhood getting more dangerous and I have no job? How does illegal immigration help me? How does it help any of us? It doesn't help any of us. All right. Thank you to Regina, the godmother, who says, why does Big Mike, she didn't say that. I really like the way she said it. Why does Michelle Obama's brother make me think of Magic Johnson's son? They look alike for real. Yeah, he does look like EJ. Well, what you're seeing is, first of all, Mike Robinson is a pretty big dude. Not Mike Robinson, Craig Robinson. Mike's brother is a pretty big dude, and he has a completely full shave head face. Like no hair, no beard, no nothing. And that's also how EJ looks, just like that. EJ, Magic's son, is like 6'7". A whole big 6'7". I don't know what to call him. Like an Instagram model who's not an Instagram model. It's like you may think you're an Instagram model in your mind, but you look like just a big crazy gay dude. All right. Thank you to Ask NW Clips for gifting memberships. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Jane for becoming a supporter. Thank you to Gregortron who says he needs to impeach that suit. Yes, he does. Thank you to Timothy Beard who says, I would support a lower working age if and only if they lowered the retirement age. Otherwise, no. We already working too long, in my opinion. I understand that. I don't think the age should be lowered because you can work now at 14 years old, but I think they're trying to loosen up some of the laws. So the way it works now is if you're 16, you got to stop working at or if you're 14, you can't work past a certain time. It's restrictions on how you're able to work at 14. So they're trying to remove some restrictions from that, but they're not lowering the age. Thinking about Caruso who says, please show the crazy scene in Wise County, Texas of crews cleaning up 8 million dimes. $800,000 off Highway 287, shutting down traffic for 14 hours. Why is there that many dimes on the ground? Hold on. Let me see if I can find that right quick. What's that? Wise County dimes. Okay. So, nah, no way. Wait a minute. Wait till you see how they get in these. Okay. Wait. So, I have footage of them getting the dimes up off the ground. Now, how do y'all think they're getting the dimes up? What is the method they're using? Are they going to use like an earth mover, a big magnet? What are they going to use to get the dimes up off the ground outside on the road, on the interstate? What are they going to do? You ready? Watch this. She's picking them up by hand. Individually. Now we got a big vacuum right here. Okay, that's good. We got a big vacuum. But someone is on the ground, and that ain't just like a regular person. That's a person that has a uniform and that's probably a police officer. Because I'm seeing weapons and whatnot. I'm seeing some kind of badging on the shoulder. Picking them up by hand. It's like, nah, that ain't really going to do it. At that point, leave him right there, for real, and just put some gravel over it or something, because, and the interstate was shut down for hours because they got to just sit there and get all those dimes up. You're not going to be able to get $800,000 in dimes off the ground completely. Now, out of how much was spilled, I wonder how much they saved. Probably maybe about $250. How much do you think they saved from that? Hold on, now I'm invested. I got to find out how much they saved. Okay, Wise County, Texas, dimes. How many did they save? Okay, they spilled 800,000. They're working for hours. Let me see. It didn't say how much they recovered. They said that they recovered all of it. I don't think so. It's impossible for them to recover that much completely. Like it didn't get every dime back. If they say that, they're lying. That's a complete lie. All right, hold on. I'll show that maybe later. I might even do a video on that because that's pretty interesting. You got guys out there with shovels, people out there picking up by hand. That's crazy. All right, let's get to some calls here. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the ticker, also in the box below. Let me turn my calls on, and let's go ahead and get rocking. Again, 706-406-3287. Yeah, one by one, ain't no way. You cannot get that much money off the ground. You might get half if you're lucky. Maybe 3/4, no pun intended. But 100%, no. Yeah, that's right. Right Without a Reason. Right Without a Reason says they would spend $10,000 to make sure they got every dime so no citizen could get them. Yep. Because you can bet your bottom dollar, again, no pun intended, you can bet your bottom dollar that if dimes are just left out there, you're going to have people get out of their cars and picking them up one by one. And it's going to be fights over the dimes and all of that. It'd be fights. People would get shot. It's dead serious. Who wants to speak to 331? You on the line?
Hey, ABL, it's Les.
All righty. What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Good. I just want to give a shout out to you for your live yesterday on IG. And I want to let everybody in the chat know that if you got IG, go follow ABL because he goes on live. And if you don't, go sign up for an account. It's completely free. Okay. All right. So I wanted to actually comment on just two things real quick. The whole thing with Charlie Kirk and a lot of that one girl who was talking about the whole abortion issue, that she was saying that what is it, an ovarian cyst is the same as having an abortion.
And what she said, it's crazy.
I was like, wait, what? Do you not know the difference? Like, they don't know the difference. They've been indoctrinated and brainwashed to think the contrary. However, the difference between that is a cyst that's growing on your ovaries, right? So they have to actually remove that because they don't know if it is cancerous or non-cancerous, right? But that has to actually be removed because it can cause a lot of health problems, especially for your reproductive system. Now, when we're talking about a life, right? When we're talking about a baby, it starts. So this is the funny thing too, how they think that the liberals especially, that it's not a baby, it's just a clump of cells. However, how does life even start? Where do we start? Where's our starting point? You get what I'm saying? Like when you have the how can I put it? The egg, right? It's basically it's just sitting there waiting to be fertilized, right? And once fertilization happens, that's when life starts. It starts at conception, because now you have, you know, the male thing, right? And the female egg, they meet, and what happens is that life starts there. Life starts forming from that point on. It evolves. It's the same way when we're born and we evolve and we become adults, independent grown adults, okay? So it goes both ways. So this is where, like, I don't know if that's like a good enough explanation for it, but that's like the more, how can I say it, like a simple
Yes.
form of explaining it, you know, of why we believe, especially conservatives, that life starts at conception, because of that simple fact. So, and obviously, you know, if the egg doesn't get fertilized, what happens? I mean, the woman's body flushes it out. That's why a woman has, you know, her cycle every month, right? If she has a healthy body, right, she'll have a cycle every month. And then the other thing I want to talk about was that young kid that you showed a video. He was saying something about the Christians and the Bible wouldn't want, what, deportation was it that he was saying?
Yeah, deportation and all due process and all kind of other stuff.
But you want to know something? I am so tired of people taking especially the Christian religion out of context. And it really agitates me, ABL, that they always want to sit there and be like, well, what would the Christians do? What would Jesus do? Like, well, why don't you go ahead and, you know, mention for a change someone else's religion, right? Like another totally different religion. But if we go ahead, and I want to actually I want to state this here in the Bible, in Romans, right? Chapter 13, verse 1 through 7. It says right here, strongly emphasizes the importance of obeying and governing authorities and the laws of the land. However, it also acknowledges that obedience to human laws should not contradict the obedience to God's commands. And a great example of this is Jesus. When Jesus was put to death, when the decision was made for the high priests to go ahead and crucify Jesus, Jesus didn't fight back. Jesus didn't sit there and say, or stand there and say, you know, well, where's my due process? You know, like he accepted what the law of, you know, the times was. Maybe it's a little different. We can't really compare it because, you know, Jesus obviously was there to fulfill a prophecy, right? However, a lot of people want to sit there and say, well, what would Jesus do? Jesus wouldn't want us to be doing this. Well, what God wants us to do, and it strictly states in the Bible, is for us to also obey to our authority according to the laws of the land that we reside in.
That's right.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm just so tired of these people over here always with the, well, what would Jesus and the Christians? And you know what? Can we just leave it as, look, we are the United States. Every other country is their own individual country. If any other, and I've said this a million times, if every other country has a right to their borders and their immigration laws, we are also entitled and we have the right to our own laws for immigration as well. We want to be safe. We don't mind, we the American people don't mind immigrants coming, but we have to vet you and we have to allow you to do that. You have to do that. I mean, in the right due process, right? Like the right process. That would be the only thing, ABL, I think we could all agree on, that you have due process there. It's just making sure you're doing it the right way, right?
That's right.
Exactly. So I want to leave it as that. I want to wish you a wonderful night in the chat. And I think, well, the little Patriots are busy playing. They're about to go to sleep before they go to. They're about to go to sleep, so they're catching up on some games. But they wish everybody a wonderful night as well. God bless. Until next time. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate y'all.
Bye. Yeah.
Now they still want to get a little bit of shine. Shout out to them. Shout out to the youngest in the background. Shout out to Les for the great call as always. Let's keep rocking here. 904. Let's go. 904 to the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Nicky from Florida.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, two things. One thing, I like what you said earlier about you can't just wrap up illegals and legal migrants in the same sentence. That's ridiculous. And I think a lot of Democrats do that to try to make it seem like there's more, or like they try to minimize the amount of illegal people here by doing that. I think that's what they're trying to do with that type of language. Also, the other thing you said about working at 14, I'm with you, man. I worked when I was 13 years old, and let them work 40 hours a week, man. Who cares? If kids want to be working instead of being out on the street, I fully support that. And I think you made a good point. More kids get into trouble out on the street. Work is good for you, so let them work early.
Exactly. And I don't mean back-breaking labor, nothing crazy like this, but you can work, you can do things at 13. You could be doing retail. You could even be doing some like construction and stuff, because look, when I was in high school, we had shop class. So I'm in there. I might have been 15, framing sheds. It's not really a big deal. Stuff like that we can do when we're young.
Yeah. Plus, like you said, you got that big energy, man. Huge energy.
Oh yeah.
But it's worth something good, man. I think that's fine. Change the labor laws. Let the kids work 40, 50, 80 hours a week if they want. Who cares? All right, ABL, you have a good night, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right, shots to my man. Not 80 hours. Let's be let's be good, but nah. You can work, man. And I think when kids don't work, when they don't have experience, they don't grow up properly, in my humble opinion. I worked as soon as I was able to work. As soon as I was able, I'm out there working. But the energy I had back then, man, I miss that energy. I still am pretty energetic right now. Like, I'm still energetic right now. But at that time, oh my goodness. My. All over the place. We could be outside just playing basketball, whatever, all day. Like it was nothing. Try doing that at 40 years old. That's why it's so impressive to see LeBron James out there doing it at 40 years old. Even pro athletes who are trained to do that have a hard time at that age still being able to get out there and do it. So imagine how regular normie is. Like that dude from the beginning of the show who couldn't get up the escalator the other way. All right. But the number to call, 706-406-3287. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. But yeah, like if you want to be a fisherman, you could do all kinds of stuff at a young age. It ain't really that deep. People talking about, oh, they're going to be working in coal mines. They're going to be sniffing chemicals. It's like, man, stop being so dramatic. It ain't really that deep. It is not that deep. It's not. And like I was saying, like my man said, if you're not working, what are you doing? You could be in the streets. I knew guys in the streets 12, 13 years old. And you know, guys that sell drugs at that age, they don't make no money. These guys usually make less than minimum wage. You're talking about they make the equivalent of like $2 an hour selling drugs. So they're going to risk their life and their freedom to make $2 an hour. So you rather them do that than to work at Subway making $15 an hour? I don't understand. Make it make sense. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. Devin says, sometimes escalators intimidate me, the fast ones. Well, I'm not going to say that they are, like, for me, when I get on the escalator going down, I'm a little careful because I want to step on it right, because I don't want to step on it and slip. So get my first step, then I'm good. So I might, like if it's a stair that's like half a stair and it's kind of going down, I'll wait. And then I'll get a fresh stair, a fresh full stair that comes out. I step on that and I'm good. But beyond that, it's fine. And if you've not seen like a deep escalator, like from a subway up to the ground floor, up to the street level, it can be intimidating. Like if you go to DC, they got that real big escalator going all the way up from the bottom to the top. It ain't like New York where they have platforms. You go upstairs, it's a platform, stairs, platform. It's straight up. Let me see if I can find that right quick. Hold on. what's that? The Metro. Okay. Was that the Wheaton station? Yeah. Oh, this thing right here. And the picture that you can't really see how deep it is from the picture. You're not going to be able to see it at all. All right, but the number to call 706-406-3287. Okay, escalate. Wheaton Station escalator. Yeah, you're not going to be able to. It won't make sense when you just looking at it this way. 859, you're loudspeaker too.
Yo, ABL, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, not much. I heard that one insane, not logical thinking teenager, college girl, saying a cis and abortion is the same thing. See, they get these information most random, weirdest place. And I think I blow a story out of proportion just to claim it's true. They always do. That's what they always do. They find one incident in some small town, and then they automatically assume that every Republican thinking that a cis and abortion is the same thing. I don't know where they get this logic from or where they hear this stuff from. If you really look into it, all of these people were never taken seriously, and it's some small town politician that doesn't have too many brain cells. I don't think the mainstream Republican Party or either party in mainstream culture actually supports a cis as the same thing in the same category as an abortion. That is the most silly thing in the world.
It is crazy, totally crazy.
And I mean, I think we would both disagree on that subject, but somebody like that would just make my argument look stupid by blurting that out. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I missed the 90s when you actually had liberals who actually made sense. That isn't it? The education system's going downhill, and I'm kind of not ashamed, but a little worried about the future.
Yeah, but there's also the opposite side of that. You got a lot of young people that are educated, that understand, that know what a baby is, but you got extremes. You have those who are very smart and those who are very not smart, very dumb.
Yeah. Well, also there's a lack of education, a lack of intelligence and stuff like that. And really, I don't think people are just simply just dumb. I just think they're just not lacking the education, especially these days when, we have an education system that throws money at the problem without fixing the problem. And it's sad to say this. Yeah, I was part of that whole, No Child Left Behind during the Bush administration, and I've met so many people my age that didn't, push through the school without barely any education. And we're going down this whole rabbit hole of a dark hill that the Chinese are going to stomp us into wine in the future. So if there's any way you can think of any way that you would think, and I'm going to leave this up to you after I hang up, if you were in charge, what would you do to change it? And I talked to Larry ABL. I got to drop off this order right here, Luciferian Libertarian out. I see you later, man. Hey, I enjoy the show, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking my call.
No problem.
Have a good one.
All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call. But I want to show you guys the escalator. So these escalators, Wheaton Station, D.C., the longest escalator in the Western Hemisphere at 230 foot. 230 foot long escalator. And it goes straight up from, once you get off the train, you're right there at the stairs or the escalator, and it just goes up. And this does not do it any justice because you can't really tell how big it is. It is humongous. It's crazy. And it's you could tell, when you're inside of this, it took a big boring machine and bore this out from the ground. I mean, you might as well have the boring machine still in there. It's like you're in the big tunnel, like an underground tunnel you could drive in. It's like that. It's really something to see. So shout out to you guys. You've been to DC. You know what I'm talking about. You've been on the Metro. You've seen it. Yeah, but that thing is a big monster. And again, a number to call 706-406-3287. Is it coffee at the top? I don't even know. That's a good question. Probably so. I think so. Actually, I think so. Hold on. Let me see if they show what's at the top. What's that? What's the station? That ain't the station though. Hold on. It's something else right there. I can't really remember what it was, but it's some stuff up there at the top. Probably coffee, considering it being DC. All right, let me see. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a video. Somebody going up the escalator. 515 hit online. Who am I speaking to?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a video.
This is Deborah.
All righty, what's happening?
I
Hold on. Before you continue, I have the sound in the background. Can you turn it off for me?
Oh, turn it down?
Yeah, turn it off.
Okay. I wanted to say that I agree. Kids need to start going to work earlier, and a lot of people that used to hire at 14 don't even do that anymore. Now it's pretty much up to 16. And I started working when I was 14 at a pizza place, and I got to serve beer and pizza to people. So I was the server and the cashier, and then the owner was the cook. And you just gain responsibility. But the other thing was, kids can't even babysit anymore. Like, I started babysitting when I was 8, and now people are to the point where they won't even let their kids be home alone until they're 8, until they're 12, or get a babysitter. And some kids are like in these booster car seats at 8 years old. And I'm like, what are we doing to these children?
What we're doing is making them become infantilized. Like the girl I was showing earlier, she had to be at least 18 in college, right around that age, I suppose. But the way she was behaving is like she was 5 years old. But that comes from the parents. Yeah, that comes from the parents babying these kids. So when they get to be adults, they're still like children.
Yes, and that's what you're running into. I was doing a catering event with a gal that was in her second year of college, and I said, can you cut up the onions? And she's like, no, I've never cut an onion before. And I'm thinking, okay, you're 20 years old and you don't know how to cut an onion? It's just really crazy, all the things that they're being taken of, and their quality of life is not going to be as good as it could be. So yeah, I'm all for getting them to work earlier, not in the streets or not sitting in front of the TV.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right. I just started following you a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoy your show.
Well, thank you for your support and your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yes, you too.
All right.
Have a good night.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to her. Great call. But yeah, that's crazy. You can't cut an onion at 20 years old. When I was 15, I could cook at 15. No problem. I could cook, like literally cook whatever I wanted at 15. Like I met kids who couldn't watch, they know how to wash clothes. Like, look, like I said before, when I was 16, I was an adult. I had all my skills. I could drive, I had a job, I could take care of myself, I could clean up, wash clothes, cook food, anything. It was nothing I really couldn't do at that age. It's nothing that I was doing then. It's nothing I'm doing right now that I couldn't have done back then. Everything. So yeah, but these kids nowadays, they get the delayed development, and then they're wondering why they failed to lunch. They're wondering why they 30 years old at the house with no prospects of leaving. It's one thing if you're 30 years old and you're trying to build towards something. You got a job and you got a career, you want to save money, whatever. You're 30 years old with nothing at all. That's called failure to lunch. And at a certain point, I want to see how you were raised. Were you given any responsibility? Were you given tasks? Did you accomplish anything as a kid? Any extracurricular activities? Anything? All right, so here's a video of the escalator. Hold on. They got music. Don't want to hear that. Let's just turn that off. Let me see if I can just show it this way. There we go. Will it work that way? That's fine. Just do this. All right, this is, you can see kind of how tall it is right here. It gives you like a perspective point of view. And you see how big the dome is. It's still not doing it justice, but it's a little bit better than looking at the picture. And you can see how small people are up there on the right-hand side. You can see how small they are. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty big. They didn't go all the way to the top. They just kind of started. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, if you fall on that thing, that's all I thought about the whole time, was falling. I'm like, man, I just stayed still. I was like, man, please don't fall back. Please don't fall back. Would I rather walk? I'd rather have it broken up. But it was okay. If you probably get used to it, it's not really a big deal. Who am I speaking to? You know, line 617.
Hey, ABL, it's Jenna in West Virginia. I just wanted to call. I don't know if you covered it. I missed maybe 15 minutes, so I apologize if you did already. But Hank Johnson, our guy Hank Johnson in Georgia, the congressman that thought that Guam was going to tip over.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what he said today?
I did not.
Oh, man. So if you pull it up, so he gave this speech, but he basically took it from that. I'm not sure if you're aware of, like, the famous poem, First They Came. It's part of, like, the Holocaust Memorial. I actually wasn't even aware of that until I sent it to one of my friends that works in D.C., and they were like, yeah, this is actually a very important poem. I was like, yeah, okay. And he was like, first they went to the Home Depot. It's all about saving the illegal migrant MS-13 people. It is wild. I thought he was just playing Dr. Seuss. What happened to the whole, like, Democrats love defending, don't be anti-Semitic, what's the word for it, anti-Semitic or whatever it is? They're throwing everything that they preach out the window, and it's wild to me.
It's funny how that works. I mean, they'll say anything whenever it's convenient. They don't really have no morals, no standards, no nothing.
It's basically like everything that they accuse us of doing is everything that they're doing. So it's crazy. But yeah, if you get a chance, go check it out. He's talking about go to the Home Depot and all this. It's so weird.
Yeah, I got to see that. That sounds very interesting.
Thank you so much for everything that you do. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, Mr. Guam. All right, I'm gonna read the summary of it. I might do a video, perhaps. So it says, first, they came for the Latinos outside the Home Depots. And I didn't say anything about it because I'm not a Latino at the Home Depot. Then they came for the Hispanic-looking folks wearing hats backwards with tattoos. Oh, my gosh. Okay, yeah, I'm going to save that one. Thank you for that recommendation. That's a good one. Okay. Let's go. 615 hit online. Who am I speaking to?
What up, ABL? It's Boomhauer, man. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Hey, have you seen the video of that black lady that moved to Africa to get away from the racism in the United States?
Yeah, I saw that. I got to do a video on that. That was hilarious and predictable because I already know what it is in Africa. Like, you think that you got a heart here in America? Okay, go over there. Go over there. You think that you one of them? Your black sister, you're gonna get scammed. Look, the scamming over there is great. Like, I always do the African accent talking about scammers. You going right to where they at. They're gonna get. They see you coming a mile away. They know you don't know anything. You green as can be. They're gonna scam you to death.
Yep, exactly, man. And she said that they look at her, dude. You see what she? I ain't trying to be mean, but you see what she looked like. And they were thinking. She said that they were thinking that she was rich because she's from America. Like, oh, they think I'm rich. I got all this money, and all they do is try to scam her left and right. She probably can't even go to the store without people busting on her, like trying to get up on her or try to get anything they can off of her. And she thought she was doing something like smooth by moving to Africa. She moved to Ghana, for Christ's sakes, man. How about that?
That's exactly where they're going to get you. That's you going right to where they at. And the thing about it is, a woman like her, the way she looks, that's going to be the prime target for these guys. Oh, my queen, I love you so much. I want to get married. I want to go back to America with you. Come on back to Ghana, right? So no, that's her all day. You see a woman like that at the airport with luggage, all kind of stuff. Here comes some dude that might weigh 100 pounds soaking wet. Oh, my queen. That's how I be.
Dude, and she said she was going to open up her own. She was a dentist. Dude, I know I ain't hating, man. I'm trying not to hate, man, but she didn't look like no dentist to me. She had no way. She said she want to open up her own dentist office over there. Oh my goodness! And then they would know that she's coming with the money, and they will be all out in front of the front door trying to get anything they could off this lady. I think it's hilarious, man. Look, this is why you need to play the video for the people.
I'm trying to find it right now.
The video.
Hey, if somebody, if you got it, if you got it, if you got it, send it to me. I'm trying to find it right now.
Oh, you need to find it. You need to find it. Ask Rebel what I read. I bet he's got it.
Yeah.
If you got it, send it to ABL. But look, dude, it's worth everybody seeing it because that right there, look, man, the mainstream media needs to quit, man. They got all these black people. And I'm telling you, man, even my wife's black girlfriends, I consider them my black girlfriends too. But we will get in, we might as well be throwing hands and knock down, drag out fights about why they believe what ABC is telling them, what CBS is telling them. And I'm like, no, did you watch this or did you read this? No, I don't need to read this. I don't need to read that. I'm telling you right now, this right there. I'm trying to get up out of here. I'm going to Africa with this. Like they will get up in my stuff, dude. They get so angry and they just listen to the mainstream media. And this right here, you need to play this video because it like explains that people, y'all need to stop listening to these leftists. Stop falling for it, man, because it ain't real. The lady even says that she would rather come here and deal with the racism. But what racism, man? You got so many, I'm telling y'all right now, there's so many white people in this chat looking at a black dude on TV. I'm looking at a black dude on my TV right now. Every single Wednesday and almost every single Saturday of my life for years. They ain't no man, what a racism at, man. They have to create it, man. There might be some, but they got to create it, man, to make it happen, man. We're too good of friends, and we get along too good for it to be real, man. You know, it is what it is. And that lady threw it out there, and I thought that video was hilarious. And the fact that she started hollering about them big, the scorpions, the big spiders, and the lizard. Had me dying, dude. I was dying watching that video. So, man, you have to find it, man. These people need to see what we're talking about. All right, man. All right, I'll let you go on that one, all right?
All right, now, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Be good, man. Peace.
All right, so I got it. Rebel sent it. Shout out to you, Rebel. Thank you for that, man. So, look, okay, here we go. I'm gonna put it on the screen right here. All right, let's go ahead and watch. It's a little bit of cussing, so don't blame me, blame her.
But y'all, I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down? Bullshit lizards. The bullshit animals. It's scorpions outside the house. It's big ass spiders. It's big ass lizards. Colorful lizards you ain't never seen before. All in the fucking room with you, sleeping with you. All the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich. So they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below. Because for me, I'm ready to go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Steady electricity. And the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill. And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity. So if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing and it comes right back on in 2 minutes. In less than 2 minutes. This shit right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people. Don't get me wrong. When I'm outside, I'm having fun. I love the people. But when I come back to reality, when you come back home, home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable. You're supposed to be happy. I'm not happy. To live in a house where you look outside and all you see is turkeys and ducks and chickens and sheeps and old malnourished cows.
The malnourished cows is hilarious. I'm saying you're not in America, man. It's Africa. You're in Africa. It is what it is. You're not in America. You took America for granted. That's what happened. You took America for granted. Oh, it's all racist. All right. Go somewhere else. Travel. And then see what's going on. You took America for granted. You love America. I'm Captain America, USA. You think like what? You were given the gift to be born in America, and you act like it's nothing. Like you want to discard it. Oh, it's racist. Where's racism at? You got called an N-word one time, or you didn't get a job you wanted, so it's racist. Please. All right. Now look. Now you over there. Enjoy that. They're scamming the briberies you got to pay the police and airports, the scams, the food might not really be to your liking. You're going to see some interesting animals that you've not seen before because why? You are not in America. You're in a different continent, a different climate, a different everything. You're in a tropical area. You're going to see tropical animals. Malnourished cows. Yeah, you're going to see that. Yep. You're not in America no more. It is what it is. And why are you worried about food anyway? You could just skip a meal or two. You'd be all right. Listen, if you skipped a meal or two, you'd be all right. But look, I'm going to do a video on that. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the whole thing about Africa and America and all that. Oh, yeah. Okay. And her, she would be the one. It would be a dude that look just like me in the face, but 100 pounds slimmer. Oh, my queen, I love you so much. Come to Ghana and be with me. But I want to go to America eventually. I want to get the king. I want to get out of here. I don't want to come. Why are you coming? I want to go. You coming? I want to go with you. I'll get on your back and go back to America with you. Yeah, shout out to her. And hey, shout out to I love the Africans. I love African people. They beautiful people, good people. But it's different. It's not America. Ain't nowhere America. Nowhere is America. Like Elon Musk said, if America falls, it's over with. Ain't nowhere else to run. This is it. So if you're trying to find an easier life in a different country, good luck. Good luck. Exactly, Audrey. The moral of the story is the grass ain't always greener. That is the moral of this story. But look, that'd be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'll be back live on Saturday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I stream on Instagram. Instagram Live, that's going to be on Tuesdays. Tentatively, we're going to do 9 p.m. for an IG Live on Instagram on Tuesdays. So if you have Instagrams, follow me over there, Anthony B. Logan. But I'm always here Wednesday, Saturday, doing the show on the YouTubes. And of course, you're listening to an audio streaming podcast as well. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right. But shout out to you guys for watching, retweet, and super chat. And I could not do the show without you. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. You guys are the best. All right. Thank you to, let me just refresh my screen right quick so I can see these super chats. And then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. All righty. Let's get to it. And let's start taking all the time in the world. YouTube, don't nobody got all the days in the world. Let's go to it over here. Thank you to, where we at? Slenderella Charming for a donation. I appreciate you, Slenderella Charming. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, thoughts on reports saying Scott Jennings is considering a run for U.S. Senate to replace McConnell, but ain't going Trump stamp of approval. I like Scott Jennings. I don't know about his particular stances on politics beyond what he says on CNN, but I like him. I like Scott Jennings a lot. I'm a fan of his. So I'm for it if he has a good campaign, runs on good things, and doesn't do anything leftist that he might have gotten from CNN. But from what I see on TV, I like him. Let's just see some more, and then I'll see from there. Thank you to Nick Luz, who says, replace down escalators with slides, please. Hey, I'm with it, man. I'm 100% with it. Thank you to Bob K. MIT, who says, work is hauling 85-pound hay bales at 13. Hey, to me, that sounds fun. That sounds fun, man. 13, I would have done that all day long. I had a weight bench in my room when I was that age. Yeah, I'm racking up 200. Boom. Easy. You 13, it's nothing. Well, maybe 175, but it's close enough. Anyway, shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.